You'd better put a chick in it. And make it fucking gay as fuck.
I am funky.
And I want it lame!
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
What?
That is so lame!
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Hello everyone and welcome to Casual Rage 178, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. And I don't think anything is slowing down anytime soon when it comes to Star Wars. What another disastrous episode of The Acolyte, I've got to say. A lot of people are saying that it is the best out of all the episodes that we've got so far. But I only think that is because there was a lot less dialogue, a lot less boringness, because it was a lot of fights. 80% of the episode was fighting, whether it be with lightsabers, without lightsabers. Not a lot of force use though. It's been a disaster. This entire series has been a massive disaster, and I think the great thing about it is that people are starting to actually notice. People are actually starting to notice. Sorry, I got distracted by Mozza because it is episode 5 and it's probably, like I said, the best episode out of what we've got, or the least worst is the way that I really want to kind of say it, because it's still bad. It's still really bad. Really bad. And I don't think that there's any defending it. Like, the defenders obviously come out and they're trying real hard to defend this show. After last week with Kiadi Mundi coming in and a lot of the SEALs out there were saying, oh, he hasn't explicitly said that he's Sith, or we don't know that he's Sith. Well, now he is. Now he has said it. What's your defense now? Oh, it hasn't yet gotten back to the council. Like, I mean, come on. We'll get into it. We got to get into it. We got to break this episode down quite a bit. And there's a lot to get through. But yeah, it's been massive for YouTubers. It's been massive for the channel, for myself. Videos are doing really, really well when it comes to basically talking about Star Wars at the moment. Now, I know I said this last week. I can't go nowhere near as long as I have for the last couple of weeks. So I've really trimmed down some of the extra stuff that we need to talk about, and we'll get obviously through all of that first, and then we'll get into the breakdown, and hopefully we can cut a bit of the breakdown down. We can cut a bit of the breakdown down a bit, and not get too much into it. I think if you're watching people's reviews, watching my reviews, watching a great person here in the chat, we're watching Valiant Renegade's reviews. I'll get to Super Chats in a second. If you're watching any of them, there's so many of them out there, and so many of them are saying and talking about the same things. Again, some people like to call that an echo chamber. I'd like to think that people are just noticing this stuff and giving their thoughts out on it, and that's the way that I'm seeing it. It's not like before I do my video, right? I go out there and I watch Ryan. I go out there and I watch Valiant Renegade. I go out and watch Gary. I go and watch. I'm not. These are my own thoughts that are just coming out. They just happen to be in line with the thoughts of all of these other people that are noticing pretty much the exact same things. Now, there are some big issues. There are some small issues, but all in all, it is one big disaster. One massive disaster. So we're going to get into it. We are going to get into it. But let me quickly say hello to the chat, hit some of these super chats and member chats and everything that we've got. I'm just scrolling up here. We'll quickly go through some people that are here. We've got Miss J in the chat. We've got Darth Ghostface, of course, all the usual suspects right at the top there. We've got Mud Crab. Who else have we got here? We got Justin, Star Wars Marvel Purist. How you doing? Force choke the like button or deflect the like button with your helmet. We got Lara is in the chat. How you doing? Good to see you. Ryan Gosling's in the chat. How you doing, Ryan? Jordan, good to see you. Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan is here. Mozza is here, of course. So, yes, it was. It was the best of the worst. It's still bad, but it definitely wasn't. Again, it's kind of hard to say because it is still quite boring to watch. But when you've got lightsaber fights, and all of that sort of thing going on, it attracts you a little bit more than just obviously people walking through fields or walking through a jungle, having stupid dialogue discussions and stuff like that. So, we got Mike Hill for his 31-month member chat. Thank you very much, Mike. You're a legend. Hail Rono. See, there are more of us campaigning. See, the More of Us campaign failed miserably. Where those shills at now? Well, the funny thing is, they're now eating themselves. I did find it really funny that after that came out, they're at each other for the lack of diversity in the video, which I thought was hilarious. But then also, too, it turns out that the main culprit, the main one that's been calling out Star Wars Theory for sending his followers over to Wikipedia and sending death threats there, has been catfishing everyone and basically catfishing their own, corner of the internet. Not even being honest with them. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And I'm sure there are people that are going to cover it. I know Hypnotic did a video on it. I did see Melvin's stream where he was talking about it, and I'm sure he's going to do an exposed video on that. But this is the other thing too, is that there's so much to talk about. There's so many different videos out there, people covering this, people covering that, and it is disastrous. These are the fans that Disney Star Wars want. These dishonest, disgusting people that are just like, they are what they accuse others to be. So thank you, Mike, for the member chat. I appreciate that, dude. We've got the operator in the chat. Good to see you. Obtuse Rubber Goose, Green Moose, Guava Juice, the fourth is here. R.I.P. Filoni. It's not gone forever. Jesus. It'll be back. It'll be back around this time next month. Firafima, good to see you. Let's see who else we got here. Tilliam's in the chat. Good to see you, Tilliam. We've got Darth Ghostface with his 9-month member chat saying Disney Star Wars fans have been sending Star Wars Theory death threats after they accused him of sending his followers to send death threats to Wikipedia with no evidence. They always project. Exactly. They do always project. And they, like I said, they are what they accuse others to be. And it seems to be the case. It's like when we're being called racists, right, by the executives and all these people over at Disney, the evidence then comes out from that James O'Keefe video. It's not stuff that we didn't already know, but it turns out that they're actually the racists. They're actually sexist. They're actually more misogynistic or whatever. They're the ists and phobes. Projection. Thank you, Darth Ghostface. Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate these members too. Riff Magos, for his 9-month member chat, says, "Hail Rhino, keep raging, you bloody legend." Thank you, Riff. Appreciate that. Splendid Superman, 122. Hi. Good to see you. Melissa Lord's here. Ultimate Rock Manex, I think. 135, hello. Tyranazilla, Blake, Mozza. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Just want to make sure I get as many of you guys as I possibly can. Because look, you guys have been awesome. You guys are like, obviously, like I said, there's the usual suspects that are always here. And last week was fantastic. We hit, I think, 120 concurrent viewers at one point. I am expecting a bit lower, being that there is this debate going on. That's probably the biggest news for today. I have seen some of the clips out there, and man, let me just speak directly to the Americans for a second. I'm not this is certainly not a politics channel or anything like that. If you guys vote for Joe Biden after what you're seeing right now, I don't care how you feel about policies or anything like that, just the leader of the free world and your commander-in-chief, and you vote for this man, there's something wrong with you. Valiant Renegade for $5 says, "There's way more of us." All right, this is obviously in reference to something. Valiant, thank you. Obviously, the video that they did that we've obviously talked about already. Let me just say, we're working on something. That's all I'm going to say at this point in time, is we're working on something. And I do hope that it doesn't come across as cringe as theirs did. But in all honesty, it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be parody. And we're going to have some fun with it. And that's all I'm going to say at this point in time. I'm not going to reveal any more than that. Let's see. Who else have we got? 5 hours this week? No, definitely not. Man, I need to go to the barber. I need to get a haircut. I need to clean the house. I've been neglecting the house. I would hate to show you some of the areas. Like, I'm not filthy, but it's not clean. So I need to, and being that this is my day off from work, And then Sunday's also my day off, but I've got Flashcast on Sunday. It gets really hard to maintain everything. So I can't go for too long tonight. But we will get through everything. We'll make sure that we do. Ryan Gosling for his 3-month member chat. Thank you very much for your member chat. No emotional weight in any of the deaths, LOL. No, none whatsoever. And that indicates, and I think a lot of people, again, in a lot of their videos, feel the same way. No one cares about the characters. They haven't given us anything in these characters to actually care about. But then also, too, the way that the characters act during all of this stuff, like Sol throwing away his lightsaber, right? Or even Jackie trying to read May her rights in the middle of a fight. That's, I'm sorry, but that's not Star Wars. It's just not. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that, dude. Let's see. What else have we got? If you want to use any of my review videos or clips, you are welcome to them. I appreciate that. Thank you, Valiant Renegade. I did after last week's episode, I think it was, I got together with Valiant and we were able to record for like half an hour, 40 minutes or something like that. And he did a little bit of an edit with it and released that over on his channel. So you can go and check that out if you want. But of course, if you're not subscribed to Valiant Renegade, go and give him a sub. Good dude. Yeah. Who else have we got here? London Fog 66. Hail to you. Quinton's in the chat. Trump whooped Biden. Is it over? Is the debate actually? I've only seen clips. I'm assuming that by this time of the day over there, it would be over, but I'm not 100% certain. And I do want to go back and rewatch the entire debate. It actually looks like a good laugh. It looks like it'd be fun to watch, to be honest with you. John 42's in the chat. Head in a blender. Long-time viewer, first-time commenter. Well, look, I appreciate that. I really do. And welcome. Welcome to Rhino's Rebels. Welcome to Rhino's Rebels. Who else have we got here? We got Andrew. We got Star Round 7. Obtuse Rubber Goose, Green Moose, Guava Juice, the 4th, for $2. How often do you watch Theory? Last video mentioned you. Oh, really? Look, I've definitely taken shots at Theory. Have for a while. Like, I unsubscribed to his channel when he came out after Rise of Skywalker. He actually pissed me off. Because before Rise of Skywalker, he was saying, if Anakin isn't a part of it, if he's still not the chosen one, blah, 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 then this is going to be shit, and like whatever he was saying. But he was going to basically denounce it, sort of thing. And then he watches it and he says that he loves it. Now, I do know that since then, he has flipped on that, right? But then it was then the whole Filoni thing ramped up. And for a person that I believe knows Star Wars lore and knows Star Wars canon, and should be keeping, an eye on the continuity of things and everything. When Mando season 1 came out, the way he was talking about it, and Filoni's the man, and all of this kind of thing. I'm sure he put posts out there of that meme of Filoni in the sky with everyone praying to it and all of that sort of thing. I would need to see a little bit more from Star Wars Theory. If somebody knows what that video is, honestly, if you could just DM me that video, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see where I get mentioned and under what context. Because in recent times, there was even a question that I asked him the other day in regards to the cortosis thing. I'm starting to see that he could B, and himself turning the corner in regards to whether or not these people that are at Lucasfilm are the right people. But I need to see a little bit more from him. I do watch sort of like the tail end of his watch parties. You got to remember, when these episodes and everything are dropping, I'm at work. So I don't get to watch any of these things live or anything like that. I sometimes jump in Melvin's chat and say hello when he's doing his anti-watch party. I sometimes go over and see X-Wing and just ask him, so what's the consensus? I try and stay away from the spoilers as much as possible. But like, I'll always try and go back and just see like the tail end, like, what did you think of the episode? Because again, there have been episodes more recently with Star Wars Theory with Ahsoka, right? He's like sitting there saying how boring this episode is, or how bad this episode was, or whatever the case may be, or how, you know, this didn't really make sense, or this didn't really make sense. And then he still gives it like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. That's not how that works. And then, you know, during the Stargriff streams, he talked about how he rates them. Sorry, excuse me. And how his rating system is basically like, he only gives his 0 to 10 ratings based on other Disney Star Wars projects, not based on a vast range of what's good and what's bad or anything like that. So like that to me, that means his rating system, when he gives it, means nothing. It should mean nothing to anyone. So I need to see a little bit more out of Theory before I actually, think that he's doing the right thing for Star Wars, doing the right thing for George Lucas's Star Wars, as far as I'm concerned. I need to see him, basically what it really comes down to, I need to see him denounce Dave Filoni. He's a hack. He's a hack. And he's been a hack since the Clone Wars days. There are some redeeming qualities. There are some redeeming parts and things in the Clone Wars. And I'm not going to deny that. But there's a lot of destruction and there's a lot of bad things in there, despite the fact that it was under George. I don't care about that. I care about Star Wars, and I care about the lore, and I care about the canon, and I care about the continuity staying in check. So if someone can send me, if no one sends it to me, I will try and find it. I want to see what was mentioned. But thank you for the $2 super chat. That was a long answer for $2. Appreciate it. We got Trump 2024 from Quinton, 100%. Let me just say this, just going back to the politics for a second. The 4 years that Trump was in office, in my 40 years of being alive, those 4 years were the best and probably the easiest 4 years to live. Financially, just general happiness. And I don't know how people can really refute that it was a really good time during those 4 years. Let's see. Let me just scroll down a little bit. Darth Scipio, I see you. Matthew, I see you. I think if I've missed anyone, I appreciate you being here. Jordan Summers, I see you as well. Got 2 Jordans in the chat. Thank you, guys. Germ Graves, see you. And I can't not mention Dr. Coffernails. How you doing? All right, awesome. We're all caught up with the chat. So let's get into a couple of things before we do get into the actual breakdown. All right. So the first thing, I put this tweet out there. Actually, it was a poll. Tweet, poll, same shit, different smell. I put this out there basically after I finished watching the episode, and I left it up for a day and a half. The final result came in. I timed it pretty much perfectly because the end result came through like not too long ago. And I just wanted to ask everyone, how would you rate the first 5 episodes of The Acolyte out of 10? 8 to 10 being it's amazing. 5 to 7, it's okay. 2 to 4, it's bad. And below that is Disney Star Wars trash. Well, look at those percentages. Out of 448 votes, thank you to everybody that did end up retweeting that as well. I'm so happy that I actually got like over 400 votes on this. I mean, look, my following's not too bad. I've gained a fair few over the last 2 weeks. Over 2,000 now over on Twitter, which is awesome. But yeah, a great result in regards to getting 448 votes. So it's commanding lead when it comes to this is Disney Star Wars trash. It is 77.7%. Now, look, I will say there's still a total of 11.4% if we combine those two top ones that actually think that it's basically above average. Because 5 is average. 5 is average. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but 5 is average. And, you know, I think my gaps between the numbers is actually really, really kind of good. But then, like, if you go under average, we've got 81.6. 81.6% of those 448 people think that it's bad or even worse than bad. But yet, hang on a second, aren't these people supposed to be the istophobes and stuff like that? The bigots? I'm sorry, I don't see that being the case. Now, this is the thing, is within that, let's say 81%, you could say, sorry, no, it's not 81. It's 88 point. Anyway, in basically a lot. 88%, 89%, somewhere around there. Sorry, yeah, I got my figures wrong. Yeah, out of that 88%, yeah, look, I'm not going to deny the fact that there might be one or two people in there that are actual racists. I can't say that there is or not. But, you know, you're always going to have those outliers that are actually, you know, bad people, whatever the case may be. Is in that 10% up here or the 11%, is there that as well? 100%. There's always going to be people out there that are like that. But I think the overall majority of the people are actually good people. Most people are good people. Bad is an understatement. You're not wrong. Like, this is really bad. Really bad. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the result of this poll because I don't think that 77.7% of these 446 people are all racist, misogynistic bigots. I just don't think that they are. I think a lot of them are actual Star Wars fans. You could almost argue that these top ones, there's not a lot of actual Star Wars fans in there. One or two, maybe, and they just watch it. They could just be normies. You love it. Yeah. So it's incredible to see that a lot more people are now starting to see what the problems actually are. And I must admit, it is crazy to me that it's taken some people this long to see it, but everybody's got their threshold. Everybody's got their threshold. I mean, I saw it a long time ago. I saw what the problems were a long time ago. And then there were some people that didn't see it up until the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And then there was some people that didn't see it up until the Book of Boba Fett show. And then there were some people that didn't see it until the Ahsoka show. But I think the overall majority have now seen it after what we're getting with the Acolyte. And I don't think like that James O'Keefe thing helped. I don't think any of that has actually helped in the eyes of the public, in the eyes of some of the normies, probably a lot of the normies actually. You know, for those normies out there that used to love sitting down and watching Star Wars just for, you know, the lightsabers and the fights and the, you know, they don't really dive too much into the lore and the canon and all of that sort of thing. you know, maybe they could sit back and just enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi. I question that, but maybe they could. Now they can't. Now they can't. They can't defend this. They can't see where this show has any redeeming qualities. You know, it would have been better if this was a sizzle reel, if this was something that they didn't release. It's too bad for Sparrow and Cameron Pasha that it actually was always a thing, and they invested a shit ton of money into this. It's like, how the fuck are they going to redeem this money? You know, people always talk about Solo. Solo lost money. Solo lost money. Man, you don't think this show's lost fucking... I reckon this show's lost more money than Solo ever did. I saw it when they nuked the EU. Well, this is the thing. Like, that wasn't even the threshold for me. I was still willing to give them a chance. Okay, you don't want to tell these stories. You want creative freedom, and you want to be able to surprise the fans that have read the EU and give them something new and different. Okay, let's see what you got. Give it to us. I'll give you the chance. Go for it. You got to do a lot of work to be able to do better than what the EU did. And that's not to say that the EU is perfect, like 100% perfect. It's not. It's not. The EU does have issues. The EU does have a few problems here and there. But majority of the EU, I'd say 90% at least of the EU is fantastic, well-written, well-thought-out Star Wars. It expands on the lore. It expands on the canon, the continuity of the books, and how they tie in with what we do see in the movies. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, anyway. All right, let's go through some of the news things. We are, again, just going to touch on it. I want this stream to mainly... We're going to go, because there's, again, like I said, there's a lot to get through. There's a lot to get through. Disagree, 90% is junk. 10% is good stuff. What, in the EU? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think that there's a lot more good in the EU than there is bad. It's at least got to be 60% of the EU is good. That's my opinion anyway. People are entitled to their opinions, whether or not they're right or wrong. All right. Let's quickly touch on a few of these things. All right. So after the release, or after the reveal, I should say, of the stranger, I can't believe he doesn't have a name. He doesn't even give himself a Darth title. He doesn't have a name. They're so lazy that they didn't even give him a name. So lazy. It's so weird that when I put it on dark mode, it squashes those pictures. Look at that. Why does that affect the picture? Weird, isn't it? And this is through Hasbro too. I don't know why you would waste your money with this, Hasbro. Waste your time and your money and all of this kind of thing. And apparently this thing isn't going to be released until 2025. Like, this is, the similar thing that what happened with Grogu, right? They didn't have any toys ready because they didn't want to spoil the reveal of Grogu. But then it took them ages to start releasing toys for it. Do you think that after the Acolyte ends, how long do you think people are actually going to be talking about the Acolyte for after the Acolyte ends? A week at most. I give it a week, and then no one cares anymore. You think in a year's time people are going to be interested in buying this ridiculous looking helmet. It looks nothing like what it looks like on the show. Now, I gotta point out that this is apparently a digitally rendered image. So it's not that they haven't even made prototypes, so to speak. Now, I do want to point out that every time we've pretty much seen Smilo Ren, it has been pretty dark, other than when he's giving May that speech, I think, at the end of episode 1 or whatever. But the helmet looks more black than it does this shiny, what? I don't know. It's like a goldy color. I don't know. It looks ridiculous, though. How many people are going to buy this? All 11 of the people that they put in that video, there are more of us video. Smilo Ren. We are Venom. Kind of looks a little bit like that with the teeth, doesn't it? But yeah, this is ridiculous. They haven't even made one yet. You would think that they would at least make one and display that and go, look, this is what it actually looks like. But this is a digitally rendered image. And they're not releasing it for 6 months to a year. Oh, no, it's more than 6 months. It's at least a year, I think. They said the fall of 2025. So when's the fall in America? It would be what, like September? Is that around? Am I right in saying that? Darth Venom. October. Yeah, okay. September, October. There you go. So that's apparently when it's coming out. Now, it is only $100. So for a helmet, it's quite cheap. It is quite cheap. These are just things that I'm hearing. But yeah, a little ridiculous that they're actually thinking. And this is something like the Razor Crest, right? They released toys of the Razor Crest, or they tried to fundraise, they tried to crowdfund Razor Crest, and then in the very next episode, they destroy the Razor Crest. It's quite funny. Darth Smilo. Anyway, so they released that. Now, the next couple of things that we're going to talk about are just some of the things that we sort of touched on last week. I think we need to continue pushing the fact that Dave Filoni has a massive amount to do with Star Wars now. And it has for a long time. I shouldn't just say now. It has for a long time. Star Wars The Acolyte writer confirms Dave Filoni approved all scripts for the show, including Ki-Adi-Mundi. Now, I thought that this was why he was given the position that he was given. I thought that he was given the position that he was given so that we don't have contradictions in law, so we don't have contradictions in the canon. We don't destroy any of that. We don't have contradictions in the continuity of it. He's supposed to know these things. And it's like I said, when I saw that episode and Ki-Adi-Mundi's in there, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, we're 100 years in the past. You know, how old is Ki-Adi-Mundi? I never knew. It wasn't something that I absolutely took on board and I was like, oh, I know this. No, I went and searched it. But it was so easy. You do a simple Google search, a very simple Google search, and you see that he's not alive around this time. So I'm going to continue saying that Dave Filoni is an absolute hack. He's well on board with this Disney avenue of storytelling and this Disney's version of Star Wars. You know, I've been saying for a long time, Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars, and it's not. It's clear that it's not. Reading the Miranda rights while in the middle of a fight, like, in the name of the Galactic Empire, the Galactic Republic, and the Jedi Order, you're under arrest. Like, oh, come on. This, it's not supposed to reflect our real world in any way. It's supposed to be its own isolated world in a galaxy far, far away. And a long time ago. You know. So he is just as bad for Star Wars as J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, Leslie Hedland. They're all buddy-buddy over there. And this is why when people talk about, I've heard Ryan say it, I've heard Mauler say it, I've heard a heap of people say it, Gary, Jeremy, all of these people. If they were given the keys to Lucasfilm, what would be the first thing you do? I'm exactly the same. Clean out shop. Get everyone out. Everyone. Start fresh. You don't need Pablo Hidalgo. You don't need Dave Filoni. Jon Favreau's gone too. He's been infiltrated by the Filoni bullshit. Start fresh. Start fresh. So anyway, we're going to continue talking about the fact that Dave Filoni is an absolute hack. I've been saying it for years. And he is bad for Star Wars. If you think that, you're an idiot. Well, you're an idiot. What can I say? What can I say? He helped Deborah Chow. Dave Filoni helped Deborah Chow with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Does massive amounts of damage to continuity and lore. The people at Lucasfilm are an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Come on. You what? He just gets given a script by someone and doesn't read through it and doesn't do anything. He just signs off on it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, do it. That's all right. Come on, man. All right, man. You can believe that if you really want. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. All right, let's move on. Leslie Hedland. Leslie Hedland. Queer creator of gayest Star Wars series claps back at haters who claim it's woke propaganda with lesbian space witches. Well, this was something obviously that came up throughout this week. And look, you promoted it, Leslie Hedland. You promoted it as gay Star Wars. You said that you were going to put your queer identity into it. Now, look, a lot of people out there are talking about this show when it comes to, again, your continuity of it, right? You all of these things that you promoted this series to be had nothing to do with Star Wars. You weren't even talking about the story. The most that we got out of you, Leslie, was to say that we're going to see things from the Sith perspective. Gee, that's a hard thing to say. But that was the most of it. Everything else was just, again, reflecting your queer identity, basically putting in the woke propaganda. And now that you're getting the backlash for it, you're backpedaling. But this is the other thing too, and I said this in one of my videos this week. If they truly believe that the majority of these fans out there that are giving this show a rotten score, like they think it's shit and they're criticizing it for what it is and everything, if you think that these people truly are just a small minority of bigots, then why are you even bothering with the damage control? Why? Aren't those people all out there fake? I'm fake? I'm a fake person. I don't exist. I'm a bot to you. So why are you running damage control for my benefit? Because it's falling on deaf ears. No one believes you. No one believes you. And just because you're saying this stuff, because from my perspective, you're one of those personalities. You're one of those people that is a chronic liar. No words that come out of your mouth in a public setting ever speaks truth, ever. You find a way to twist it and grind it like your little fucking Star Wars saved my life in fucking in the what's it called? The Star Wars celebration. Fake tears. Fake, you're just so fake. You're such a fake. Ugh, yuck. Maybe that's got something to do with the fact that you were Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. You had to learn how to lie, like constant lies. And that became your personality, a chronic liar. That's what you are. So nobody believes you when you say, oh, I didn't mean, like, that's not my intention. I didn't mean to make it this queer, bullshit. You said that it was. Were you lying then? Or was that actual truth? Because now I'm sounding hypocritical, aren't I? Because if she came out and said, and I think that she's a chronic liar, and she came out and said, oh, it's going to reflect my queer identity, then she was lying about that too. Who's this for? Who's the damage control for? We had that the witch mother, the main witch mother, that black woman. I can't remember her name, right? At Star Wars Celebration, saying that Star Wars is so patriarchal. Since when? Since when? Since Disney took it over and they decided to lie and gaslight everybody into thinking that it was patriarchal? It's so patriarchal that for years and years and years, you had fans like Anna, that Star Wars girl. Oh my God, that goes against the narrative. Last week I watched Empire Strikes Back and I took a video of when Leia's talking to all the pilots on Hoth, giving them orders. Back in the day, man, when I saw that, I was like, fucking, what's this woman doing in my Star Wars? Get the fuck out of my Star Wars. Seriously? It's a bullshit lie. It's a bullshit lie. And speaking of a bullshit lie, hang on, where is it? Here we go. Lucasfilm boss, good old Kathy Kennedy, Queen Kathy. Please give Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant a job. Says women in Star Wars struggle with toxicity due to male-dominated fan base. Yes, you're not wrong. It is a male-dominated fan base. There are more males as fans of Star Wars than there are females. But all the male fans, I don't reckon there was ever one male fan in the fan base that ever came across a chick that was a fan of Star Wars and said, you couldn't possibly be a fan of Star Wars. You're a woman. No fucking chance. It's a full-on gaslight. And the funny thing too, is that the mainstream media and the access media parrot these exact same things. How about, instead of parroting what these morons are saying, you counteract the actual criticisms from real fans, right? Like, how does the Sith without using your ridiculous headcanon, mind you. But how does this guy reveal himself as a Sith and the Jedi Council not know about it 100 years later, 85 years later? You know, I reckon if you asked majority, no, Charles, I reckon if you asked majority of actual male Star Wars fans, what their reaction would have been if they came across a chick that was a big Star Wars fan, what their reaction would have been, and it would have been like awesome, like fucking awesome. Let me marry this woman. She's got the same interests as me. She loves Star Wars just as much as me. She knows the lore just as much as me. Yeah, the cat needs some love. But the thing is he gets enough love. The thing is that when he'll be like sleeping on the couch or something when I start the stream, and just because I start the stream, he comes over. But Charles is like a dog. He really is. I get home from work, he's waiting at the back door. I come up, give him some food, and then I go downstairs to get changed or have a shower or something, and he'll ignore his food to just come and, you know, be with me. He's fucking awesome. So's Eric as well, but he's a little bit more antisocial. But yeah, this is a bullshit lie. Another bullshit lie. Nobody believes these people. No one believes these people when they say and they spout this bullshit. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to get the normies that don't pay attention to as much as we do to think that this is true. But the funny thing is that I don't even think a lot of the normies actually think that it's true. That's right. They don't have an argument to counter the criticism. They don't. They don't. You know what their argument is to counter the criticism? Oh, you're an istophobe. Like, that's it. That is it. That is the extent of their counter. Because they don't have any answers. They don't have any answers. And they try to answer it by using their headcanon. Canon is created by, and this is the thing, you want to see actually the last 2 weeks has been a really, really good example of why headcanon is bullshit. Because after the Kiadi Mundi thing and the whole Jedi Order not knowing about the Sith in this time period, people were saying, oh, they didn't explicitly say. I hate that. I fucking hate that. They didn't explicitly say. We've got a seal of the week that's got a statement like that. But yeah, they didn't explicitly say. We didn't explicitly see. Blah, 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 blah. And then the very next episode, they explicitly say and we explicitly see it. What are you going to say now? What's your counter now to that? I'd like to see you backpedal on what you were saying last week and give me a counter to my criticism this week. I've stuffed up my order, so I need to just jump out. Oh, fuck. What did I just delete? Ah. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3. Fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it might have been this one. This is the problem with having too many tabs, is that the X is so close to the... yeah, here we go. Let me get rid of the ones that we've already talked about so that it spreads the tabs out a bit more. They get a bit bigger, easier to navigate. G'day, Laura. I did see you earlier, sorry. Ha! Put away the porn tab, righto. No. If you use fucking... Yeah, no. There's a whole different computer for that one. Yes, Charles. Please. This cat, I tell you what. No. Please, just lay here. Just sit here and you'll be fine. He wants to get on my lap, and I don't want him on my lap because he gets too close to the microphone. Say hi to the chat. Straight into the mic. He's like headbutting the microphone. Come on, man. Come on, up here. Up here. God damn. Fucking cat. Yes. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Charles, please, for God's sake, stop. Just stop. Stop. Here. There you go. Oh, is that nice? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, that's enough. Now lay there. Stay there. You're funny ass. All right, hang on. Sorry, guys. Let me see where I'm at here. Let me see where I'm at here. This fucking cat. Oh. No. Okay. We're going to just say the quote. We're going to get the quote out that Leslie Hedland mentioned. This was the next one there. All right. Here we go. The Acolyte creator, Leslie Hedland, denounces, I bet you do, the use of the term lesbian space witches to describe characters in her series. They're in a matriarchal society. As a gay woman, I knew it would read that their sexuality is queer. No, you know why people thought or think and can see that it's their sexuality is queer? Because not only you made it queer, you got the two mother witches touching faces, getting real close, and then you've got them having a massive orgy, in front of children. But you said it. You said that it's going to reflect your own queer identity. You knew that it was going to be read that way. We knew that it was going to be read that way too. You know why we knew it? Because you said it. To promote it, you said it, you idiot. This is where the chronic lie comes out. But there also ain't any men in their community. Well, that's not true either, because there is one trans woman in there, which is basically a man. So a closeness between the two of them would be natural. See, this is a complete oxymoron in what she's saying here. It's a complete oxymoron. So you knew that this was what you were doing? Being that there's no men, you knew that there would be a closeness between the characters, but it's not gay. It's not gay. It's so ridiculous. It seemed plot-driven. Well, that's a lie because this series has no plot. It seemed plot-driven. I would say it's really reductive to call them lesbians. Okay, whatever, you lying piece of shit. I think it means you're not really paying attention to the story. What story? Oh, we are paying attention, Leslie. We are paying attention. But you've said it all in your own statement. The statement flip-flops, just like the characters' motivations do in the series. It's crazy. Crazy to think, isn't it? Hang on, let me just go out and see what we got next. Okay. Yeah, we've got two more things to touch on, and then we're getting into the breakdown. We're going to do it quick this week. Getting into it really quick. let's see if we get. I don't even want to open up the article, and we're not reading the article. We're just going to read this sort of headline here. So from IGN, the Acolyte's showrunner has 4 or 5 major mysteries she'd like to explore in a potential season 2. Oh, here we go. Please, Queen Kathleen Kennedy, give her a season 2. Please do it. Oh my God. You've got mysteries in this season you haven't even answered. And I think we are going to get the answers. I think now that's stupid that they can't even give they can't even keep a mystery from one episode to the next. Or they couldn't even, you know, with the May and Osha switching places, right? They could have done that so much better where the audience didn't even know that they'd switched places. That's what should have happened. That's what should have happened. But no, we see them switch places, so now we just know there's no mystery there. I mean, just in simple storytelling, you could have done that so much better. So much better. So the audience are wondering. Crazy. But so are you telling me that by the end of this series, you're going to leave 4 or 5 things still inside the mystery box so that you can hopefully explore them in season 2? Are we going to get to the end of this series and not have answers on certain things? No. Did they make Geode gay? Is Geode actually gay? Are you serious? That's hilarious if they did. Yeah, they made a rock navigator in Star Wars. In the High Republic. But I didn't know they made him gay. Yeah, again, so Leslie, are you telling me that you're going to leave 4 or 5 things in the mystery box so that hopefully you get a season 2 so you can explore those 4 or 5 mysteries? Is that really where you're at? I wouldn't count on it. It wouldn't surprise me if they did greenlight a season 2. It would not surprise me in the slightest. I mean, we're going to get a season 2 of Ahsoka. That's going to be fucking wow. That series was bad, bad, bad. Completely destroying Thrawn. Completely destroying Thrawn. I should actually clip out that that bit of Dave Filoni saying that, using things from the EU and making them something that it's not is rude. And just have it here so I can play it. What a fucking hack. I just want to play this really quickly. This is so funny. I'm glad somebody did this because when I was watching the episode, actually, I should put my headphones in, shouldn't I? So we don't get an echo. We're going to get a season 2 of Ahsoka? Yeah, apparently it's already been greenlit. Apparently it's already been greenlit from what I'm hearing. So when Osha goes to cut her hair with a lightsaber, May I should say, the first thing I said, if you've watched my review, she puts her head down. I'm like, what, are you going to decapitate? Are you going to cut your own head off? That would be great. Obviously, I didn't believe that she was actually going to do that. I didn't know what she was doing, though. But this is hilarious. That's what should have happened. Look how close she is to the blade. The blade's under her chin. So realistically, this is what should have happened. This is what should have happened. Oh, also too, guys, I do want to apologize for not having my episode 5 review out when they normally drop. I put way too much of the episode in the video that not only did it get copyright claimed, but it got blocked. Like, even if I wanted to release that one, I wouldn't have been able to. So if you haven't caught it, go and check it out. I dropped it last night. Well, it was last night for me. It was probably this morning for most of you. But yeah, go and check that out. All right, what we might do. I've got too many seals of the week. I've got 7, and we can only use 4. So I need to trim that down, which I might do in a sec. I might. We've got to watch Grizzy's videos as well. Hold on a second here, guys. Give me one sec. We'll do that later. Okay. We're going to smoke. All right. So this was another video that I dropped this week where Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy has opened her mouth again. And what a time to do it. What a time to do it. During the disaster of the Acolyte and everything. She's talking about how Rey Palpatine is the heart of Star Wars. Man, if you haven't seen the video, go and check it out. But there's a bit in here that I don't believe. I don't believe the George Lucas thing. So Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy says she's had conversations with J.J. Abrams, with George Lucas, and speaks with Filoni very often. So this is the thing. I don't necessarily believe that she's spoken to George all that much. J.J. Abrams, well, why would you? The fans hate J.J., right, for what he did with the sequel trilogy. And Dave Filoni is a hack, and we're all starting to see that. And the fact that you speak with him very often. Let's just take a listen to this.
And at the heart of it, for me, is Rey Skywalker, is Daisy Ridley and her story, and taking her on an adventure to a Jedi Academy and sort of.
Now, hold on a second. We've already seen Daisy Ridley as Rey Palpatine's adventure already. We don't need, and nobody wants, a continuation of that story. So, again, we get told by idiots out there that we're a part of an echo chamber in regards to us fans and the way that we talk about Disney Star Wars. Mate, I reckon they're more in an echo chamber over there at Lucasfilm. Because they truly believe this.
Creating a world that is a natural dovetail to the story that we've seen her go through the last 3 episodes. I've had conversations with J.J. Abrams. I've had conversations with George Lucas.
Bullshit.
And then, of course, Dave Filoni, who's a big part of the Star Wars universe now. We speak very often. And Kathy Kennedy and Carrie Beck and Simon Emanuel. I mean, I think the team is really taking time to make sure that we do justice to telling the story.
I don't believe that. Taking the time to do justice to telling the story. Does anybody believe that? Does anybody here actually believe that? Based on what we've seen for the last 10 years. They've owned it for 12 years. I don't. Nothing that I've ever seen come out of Disney Star Wars has been dealt with any form of care. Yeah, what does that even mean? It's word salad, exactly. Jabba the Fett. No one believes you. No one believes you. Taking time and, putting some care into it. I don't think so. That's true. That's true. Where are all the Jedi? You got to remember that this new movie that they're going to do with Rey, I believe it's going to jump. There's going to be a big time jump from episode 9 to this episode 10. A new beginning. A new beginning. Riff Magos for $5 says Star Wars episode 10, Rhino the Seal Slayer. Rhino the Seal Slayer. Yes. 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 All right. Anyway, again, if you want to look more into this or see more about this, go and check out my video. It's Star Wars is a fucking joke. Disney Star Wars is a fucking joke. Got to stop doing that. Star Wars as a whole is in a very, very bad place. A very, very bad place. Has been for a long time, but even worse so now. But that's the thing. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Nothing has any redeeming quality to it. Nothing. Despite what I said about those couple of episodes of The Bad Batch, there were some decent moments in the second season of The Bad Batch. One or two. I'm now starting to narrow it down to one episode, and it's that one episode with Crosshair. When he kills that officer or whatever on that snow planet. That had in isolation, it had a decent story, decent character work. But it's once in a blue moon. Okay, in regards to Andor, actually, let me touch on this. Thank you for You Want to Fight. I love that. He's got Charles in there. You can get the merch You Want to Fight, and it's got Charles choking me. Did you like Andor? I hear a lot say it's the best. Okay. It's probably the best in Disney Star Wars, but it's still not good. Now, look, there are people that were watching my videos, and because I happen to mention that I think that Andor is bad, they're like, oh, you had me up until you said that Andor was really bad. Well, okay. I'm sorry. Just because Mauler and Critical Drinker say that it's good. I mean, you go back and you watch after the first episode, Mauler wasn't actually on board with it. It was Critical Drinker. It's kind of like the same thing with Fallout, right? Critical Drinker thought Fallout was good. Mauler basically then started pointing out all the outpoints, and Critical Drinker thought otherwise. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's, again, I've talked about this. This is what fandom sort of used to be, right? If somebody says something and you disagree with it, or you've got something to prove that what they're saying is incorrect, you would show them that and they'd be like, oh, shit, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, okay, maybe it isn't as good as I thought, or whatever the case may be. You could have those conversations where there was disagreement, and it would just be a good old conversation, right? But Andor was boring. On top of the fact that Andor was boring and might have had some decent writing and some decent character work, but there's so many outpoints with it. When you actually start burrowing down into it and thinking about it, it's like, how does all of that work? I've done videos on it. You can go and check those out. But just to give you some dot points of what I think are some of the bad points of Andor, for those of you that don't know, Luthen's store. Let's talk about Luthen's store for a second and all the Force-sensitive material that Luthen has in his store on Coruscant. Are you telling me that Palpatine or Vader can't sense all this Force-sensitive material in his store and haven't raided the shit out of his store, including a Sith and Jedi holocron? Why are they there? Is it so that the SEALs will see it and clap? Because that's what they did. I know what that is. It's a holocron. They had a Jedi temple mask, a Jedi temple guard mask. They apparently had Starkiller's armor. They had the tablets for the Mortis Arc stuff that the wolves made appear to Ezra in the Rebels series, and then they made them disappear. How did Luthen get those? Right? Palpatine wants to get into the world between worlds based on what we saw in Rebels, and guess who's got the key to that? Luthen. He's got the rocks with the fists and the hands in his store. He's got Leia's headdress, which isn't Force-sensitive material, but, you know, it's still just there so that people go, I know what that is. I know. Yes. Yes. That's what those things are there for. Plo Koon's mask is in there. Oh, now you could say that it was for not necessarily actually Plo Koon's. Okay, you could make that argument. He's got a Gungan shield in there. What did he do? Go to the Battle of Naboo and just walked amongst all the dead bodies and just like, oh, this would look good in my store. That's one thing, right? You want more? Where's Bail Organa? Where is Bail Organa? Why is Bail Organa being taken out? Is it because he's a white straight male? Right? Why is he being taken out of one of the most important parts of building the rebellion? Why have we switched from one white straight male to another white straight male? Or are they going to make Luthen gay? Is that why it's okay to have Luthen basically take Bail's spot? The heist, the 80 million credits, they got 80 million credits out of the heist. Luthen just so happens to, off-screen, get those credits, despite that Andor was the only one that was able to pilot the ship, and then he leaves the planet, right? And then Val is left to get the credits back to Luthen somehow. But you know what? Mon Mothma lent him or gave him 400,000 credits, hence why she's going through all the drama that she's going through. She's got to hide her bank statements, right, from the Empire, right, with the 400,000 credits that she embezzled from herself to give to Luthen. Out of the 80 million credits, why wouldn't Luthen just go, thanks, Mon, here, let me save you the trouble of having to sell off your daughter. Sell off her daughter? First of all, why didn't Luthen give her the 400,000 credits out of the 80 million credits? And instead of selling off her goddamn daughter, why didn't she go to Bail Organa for the 400,000 credits? Bail, I'm in trouble. I need some help. Is there some way that you can get me 400,000 credits so I don't have to sell my daughter? The prison. Why have we got sentient beings in the prison? Why aren't they programming droids to make the Death Star pieces? Oh, it's so that they can say, oh, the one thing that killed Andor is the thing he helped to build. Oh my God, it's like poetry. Are you fucking, like, honestly, this is the Star Wars universe. The writer came out and said that he didn't like Star Wars. He's never liked Star Wars or anything like that. And he decided to put all the droids and the aliens in the background. Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't see many droids and I didn't see many aliens even in the background. But just going back to the prison break for a second, right? So you got to feed all of these people, all of these, you have toilets for them, whereas droids, you can program them, charge them, and away they go. They do their work. They're programmed because they're not sentient. Not like in Solo, a Star Wars story where you remove the what's it called? Fuck, I can't remember the name of it now. I've just blanked on it. Oh, fuck. You guys know what I'm talking about. The fucking thing that stops them. Anyway, and then what? They remove that and that droid's programmed to get on the table and protest? That's their programming. They're programmed. They're computers. It's so dumb. That's Solo. That's going off the track. But again, why aren't they programming droids instead of having sentient beings? Is the very first time that they moved, instead of releasing a prisoner, how long has this prison been operating for? But while Andor's there, just so happens to be the very first time they don't release a prisoner that's done his time and they just move him to another section. This is the first time ever that that's happened in this entire prison. Because that then creates a rebellion or a mutiny within the prison. That hasn't happened before. So everybody before this time, they just released. Right? You want more? When they do break out of the prison and everybody's jumping into the water, first of all, from that height, it'd probably hurt, if not break a bone or possibly even kill some people, right? But Andor and his mate are the only ones that happen to make it to shore. Does that mean by Andor causing this escape from the prison, caused the deaths of, let's say, 5,000 prisoners because no one made it to shore other than Andor and his mate? Oh, that the headcanon is that when they jumped out into the water, Andor and his mate swam this way, everybody else swam this way. All 5,000 of them all swam in a completely different direction to Andor. It's a mess. The writing is horrible. He completely forgets about, like, the opening scene. We go into a brothel in Star Wars. He's looking for his sister. That storyline, we might see it in season 2, right? But that storyline gets completely dropped. It's like he doesn't care about finding his sister anymore. He's now in this situation with, doing the heist and doing the what motivated him to want to do that when he's on this hunt and he's on the trail of his sister. When the lady comes out in the brothel and says, yeah, there was somebody from blah, 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 the planet that he's from, that was working here. She's not here anymore, but she was. Now, it might not be his sister. Maybe his mum was right when I think she lied to him when she said that she's dead. Stop looking for your sister. But he hasn't been looking for his sister for ages. And we're saying this line. Restraining bolt. I just thought of it. The droids. Like, people can say that things are good. I don't have to agree. But also, too, for the people that do jump in my videos and stuff like that, and when I mention that Andor's not good, I've got very good reason to believe that Andor isn't good. Andor isn't Star Wars. It's more Disney Star Wars than anything. And then you want a connection? You want a connection to the sequel trilogy when she mentions Canto Bight, the casino planet, to her husband? It's Disney Star Wars garbage. It might have been written better than any other Disney Star Wars crap that we've got. Some of the character work might have been better, but there are holes everywhere. Everywhere. If you like it, you like it. I question your sanity. But what can I say? All I can say is these are my criticisms for why I don't like it. Now, instead of just saying you had me until you mentioned that Andor was shit, or you're an idiot for thinking that it's not good, or something like that, how about you counteract my criticism and give me a reason why? Without headcanon. The creators are supposed to create the canon as they're making the story. It's supposed to be able to make sense. Oh yeah, look at this. Thank you, Stepping Stone Media Group LLC for $2. Says, don't forget the underwater electrified prison. Yeah, I mentioned the prison. Thank you. There's a lot in the show that doesn't make sense. Maybe people actually got distracted by some decent writing. Again, I'd argue the point, but man, I got you, Mr. Bantham. Thank you. Mr. Bantham for $2 says, just made it. Man, this episode was a mess. Hello. Yes, it was a mess. It really, really was. Thank you, Mr. Bantham. And to everybody that has sent a super chat or a member chat today or become a member today, thank you very much. Where's my thing? Where is it? I was going to play it, but now I fucking can't find it. There it is.
Thank you very much.
I don't care. We know you don't care, Kathleen Kennedy. We know. We know. So anyway, I went on an Andor tangent. But I went off like that in regards to Andor because, like I said, it hasn't just been one person say in my comment section of some of my videos where I've mentioned that Andor is bad that have said, oh, there was one person that said, oh, but Mauler likes it. So does that mean I have to like it? Does that mean I have to like it? And I'm sorry, little platoon. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I need to have lightsabers on the screen and I need to have Jedi using the Force. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with the story. It's got to do with the universe, not having droids, not having aliens, not having droids building the Death Star. Like, it's got to do with actual stuff. Not just the fact that, oh, we don't see lightsabers. That was his criticism towards another person that I know. I'm not going to name names, but Little Platoon mentioned that. Sound like one of those Disney Star Wars shills trying to fucking defend it by saying shit like that. Well, you just need lightsabers. No, we don't. No, we don't. We need good stories. We need good Star Wars. And Andor is not good Star Wars. What was everyone's reaction when Andor got arrested by the droid that looks like the droid from Rogue One? What was everybody's reaction when they saw that? I know what their reaction was. You want to see what it was? Anyway, We're going to do this breakdown. Oh, yeah, Jesus. All right, let me just go through and work out which seals of the week. We're gonna open up the poll. We're gonna do seal of the week. Then we're gonna go through the breakdown. Then we might end the poll, and then we might just end the stream on reacting to a couple of Grizzy's videos because we need to actually catch up on some of those. So let me just go through and work out who I'm going to eliminate. I think I'm just going to decide, guys. Normally I give you guys a little vote on who's going to get nominated this week. Oh, that's a good one. All right, hold on. We're going to use that. Oh, we're going to use that one. We're definitely going to watch that one. We're going to get rid of that one. Oh, man, there's so many good nominees. Fucking hell. Okay. We're going to get rid of that one, actually. Got to get rid of one more. Fuck. I don't know which one to pick. We're keeping Brody Wan Kenobi because he's definitely a Disney seal. And we're definitely keeping that one. All right. I don't know which one to pick between these two, so you guys are going to help me here. So I want ones and twos in the chat. Let me show you what they are first, obviously. So we've got Riley here, who's a she, he, they. Wow. She, he, they. Saying Acolyte spoilers. Killing them during Pride Month was a little excessive. Sorry. If you guys are new here, I do have a bit of dyslexia, so I sometimes stumble my way through shit, but you get the idea. Killing them during Pride Month was a little excessive. Yeah, because she had a lesbian thing for Osha, and he was just a cuck that didn't really know anything. So there's that one. And then the other one was in response to Gary's tweet about this guy revealing himself to be a Sith. It says, I don't understand how you can be a pretty high information Star Wars junkie and then turn around and treat Ki-Adi-Mundi's line about the Sith being extinct as factual. When the audience knows he is wrong as he says it. Sidious didn't spring out of a hole in the ground. This is the retarded justifications that you get. Yes, we, the audience, know that the Sith aren't extinct, you idiot. But we believe that the Jedi believe that because the Sith have been hidden for... The Sith never went anywhere. Ever. During that 1,000 years, the Sith were still around. But you know what? They were in hiding and they hid themselves from the Jedi really well. Really well. So I want ones in the chat if you want this one nominated. And I want twos in the chat if you want this retard nominated. Let's go. This is the Disney Star Wars fan. where they clearly have no understanding. They have no understanding. Like, if you've watched it, you know. We know that the Sith aren't extinct. Of course we know that the Sith aren't extinct. But the Jedi in universe believe that the Sith are extinct. And we believe that as the audience. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It looks like the 2 has it. Not to say that the 1 wasn't a good nomination. Michael says 1. Star Wars Marvel Purist, Justin says 1. But then the rest of you are all saying 2. Honestly, I'd probably pick 2 too. I think the 2s have it, guys. Democracy. All right, 1's gone. 1 is gone. All right, I need to top up my drink. Before we play the stinger, I'm going to leave you with Moz's fart. I'll be right back.
Oh, Mozza, read that.
Mozza, don't let the American bitch.
Did you just fart?
Yes, I did. Tell you what to do.
I think it's bedtime, Mozza.
Question mark.
I think it's bedtime for Mozza. That's the type of videos that we watch on fucking Happy Hump Day.
I gotta pee. Oh my god.
I'm coming. I think we needed a laugh, so that's why I played it. Because it's fucking hilarious. All right. It is fucking hilarious. Nice. All right. Here we go. I want to see the emojis in the chat.
I'm all the Jedi.
Mozza, aka Darth Farter. Fartas. It's good. Did I miss any super chats? I don't think so. I got Mr. Banthams. No, we're good. We are good. All right. Here we go. Nominee number 1. Oh, no pronouns. Retini's Holocron? Okay. The Acolyte, episode 5 was great. Let's take a listen to this 1-minute clip, shall we?
Okay, guys, so The Acolyte episode 5 is out, and I thought that it was amazing. In particular, the lightsaber choreography was amazing. That was some of the best choreography in all of Star Wars. I think it's up there with the prequels. Obviously, it's not better than the prequels, but it was great. I was actually like floored by how fast and just precise and captivating that the choreography was. The lightsaber duels were amazing. I loved this episode. Aside from the only thing I thought was really dumb was Chimere getting carried away by those big beetle bug things. I thought that was really goofy and it looked stupid, especially after just watching him like wipe 7 Jedi by himself and then he gets taken away by some bugs.
But it was still great. The choreography is some of the best we've seen in all of Star Wars. It still doesn't stack up to the prequels. Like, this person's just full of oxymorons and like counteracting them their own statements straight after they've said them.
But other than that, I thought everything was great. The stuff with Osha and May was a little clunky. I don't.
Every time I thought it was great, except this was a little clunky. I thought it was great, but I thought it was stupid that he got taken away by the bugs. I thought it was great. I thought the lightsabers is some of the best we've ever seen in all of Star Wars. But it's great.
I think the writing was as good as last episode in terms of dialogue, but everything was great. I'm super excited to see what's going on with Chimere. I don't think he's really a Sith Lord, though. He said he has no name, so I don't think he's a Darth, but I'm probably going to make another video about this on YouTube about my whole theories. But that's everything that I have to say. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments.
All right, I thought it was shit and not Star Wars. There's your first nominee. Gee, we're coming in strong today, aren't we? All right, your second nominee is from Brody1 Kenobi. Brody1 Kenobi. I'm surprised that this person doesn't have pronouns in their bio, to be honest, because it looks like a pronoun person. That's all I'm going to say about that. So Brody1 Kenobi says, I really don't know what to say. The story, action, dialogue, etc. could literally all be a 0 out of 10, and that was still one of the coolest episodes of live action Star Wars TV, in my opinion. It could have been a 0 out of 10, and it would still be the coolest live action TV Star Wars in this person's opinion. Okay, these guys contradict themselves in their own fucking statements. Action like this is what fans have been begging for since the Disney acquisition. I'm sure Brody1 Kenobi, you said the same thing about the throne room fight in The Last Jedi, and probably all the fights between Kylo and Rey in Rise of Skywalker. I'm sure you probably said the same thing about the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber fights. Anyway, that's your second nominee. Your third nominee. Oh, no pronouns. All these people, though, look like they should have pronouns. I see a lot of people complaining about Jackie holding her own against a Sith, despite only being a Padawan. Now, where have I seen this before? Okay. Obi-Wan was about to do his trials to become a Jedi Knight. Qui-Gon said that he was ready. Even Obi-Wan said that he was ready. He was pretty much a Jedi Knight, right, at this time. And who's the other one? Anakin. And he got beaten pretty quickly. He held his own for a little while, but he got beaten by Dooku pretty quickly, lost his arm, and he's the chosen one. Another stupid. This is where these people need to try and put down the originals and the prequels to try and heighten and lift this Disney Star Wars garbage. And then the last one, of course, was the one that you voted in before from Stephen Kent. Again, no pronouns. Interesting. Saying, I don't understand how you can be a pretty high information Star Wars junkie and then turn around and treat Ki-Adi-Mundi's line about the Sith being extinct as factual when the audience knows he is wrong and he's saying it. When he's saying it, sorry. Wrong as he's saying it. Sidious didn't spring out of a hole in the ground. There you go. That's your fourth nominee. Let me get the... Oh, X-Wing's here. X-Wing, we're about to go through the episode. Do you want to jump on? I'll send you the link if you wanted to come in. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. He became... Hey, why hasn't that changed? It says tracking fob. I changed the names. Why haven't they changed? Well, that's supposed to be Rhino's Rebels. He's a Rhino Rebel. All right, so they're your nominees. Let me get the poll in the chat. X-Wing, let me know if you want the link. I'll shoot you the link. Seal of the week. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go, guys. I would change your debit card. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yep. I love the seal emojis. Become a member, guys. Become a member today. You get access to all the emojis. The most used one, I reckon, is the seal clapping emoji when we do seal of the week. So just going through the nominees again, you've got number 1, which, again, completely contradicted everything that, I don't know what to call it. He, she, they, them said as they're saying it. Brody 1 Kenobi, again, pretty much contradicting himself in his own tweet. Brandon saying that it's ridiculous that we're all got a problem with a Padawan when, like, not even thinking about the context of these two fights and what actually happens. And then you've got Stephen Kent clapping back at Nerdrotic when it is ridiculous what they've done. And the statement's ridiculous about the audience knowing that Cardi Mundi was incorrect. He wasn't lying. He was incorrect. And yes, we, the audience, knew that, but the Jedi didn't know that. Context matters, you idiots. So get your votes in. And we're going to go through this episode. I'm just going to say, I haven't seen him respond. I'm just going to send him the link. See if he wants to come in. Keanu Monday. Yeah, I know. That's so funny. I see you, X-Wing. Oh, I see your question in the DMs. I will let you know. I'm hoping to have it out this weekend. Let me put it that way. But there's the link for you if you wanted to jump in, X-Wing. Oh, he's going to get a little sleep. All right, sweet dude. Sweet as, dude. All right. Let's bring it up. Okay, I think you guys know, a lot of you probably know the gist of what the episode entailed, right? Where we've gone in this episode, how bad it's been. I'm sure you've watched a lot of reviews. I'm sure you've watched a lot of videos, and you've seen a lot of people talk about it. So you probably know the layout of how this episode actually pans out and how, like, it's structured and how it goes. But I'm going to touch on specific points that, again, probably a lot of them have already talked about. But this episode, first of all, it was so dark. It was really, really dark. And I do have to agree with Chris Gore when I say yellow lightsabers look bad. They don't look good on screen. Like, the green looks really good. The blue looks really good. The red looks really good. But the yellow just, it does fall off a cliff a little bit when it comes to the yellow. I don't think they look good at all. And I don't like the idea of a lot of Jedi having yellow lightsabers. I don't necessarily have a problem with Jedi, out there having yellow lightsabers. But my understanding is that the yellow was more a temple guard color, which I don't have a problem with at all. But yeah, I just thought it looked bad. It doesn't look too good at all. So May wakes up after being obviously knocked out from being pushed across the forest. I do find it funny that anytime somebody uses the Force against someone, like a Force push or something like that, it knocks them out. Not all the time, because obviously Jackie uses a Force push on May and she doesn't get knocked out. But like when Osha at the end of the last episode, she wakes up knocked out. When at the end of this episode, when May Force pushes Osha, it knocks her out. Hey. Hold on one second.
Hello, what have we here?
Hello, what have we here?
What's up, buddy?
How you doing? Man,
Good.
Time since we've been able to catch up. We keep talking to each other in DMs like, man, when can we get together?
Yeah, it's always it turns out when you're on the other side of the planet, it can be hard to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. How you doing though, dude? Doing all right?
I'm good. I pulled out I've got a Star Wars studio back here filled top to bottom, left and right with Star Wars stuff. I pulled out my Star Wars rug today. I had to get rid of it. I was getting sick every time I walked in and looked at it. And I'm like, oh my God, I have fully embraced the grift. I'm getting physically ill when I see stuff now.
Yep. Just a quick synopsis of how you felt watching this particular episode.
I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, it's absolutely the best out of the series, hands down, like without a problem. I think from, if you're a normie and you're watching this, you go, this is great. This is what we've been waiting for. Finally, we're getting some action, some stuff is going on. But again, as a Star Wars fan, somebody who's entrenched in the franchise, when you watch it, it's problem after problem after problem after problem after problem. So it's, it's hard not to, in a way, it's hard not to be like, stoked for the normies who are just totally eating this shit up. Like, good, enjoy it, have fun. But for me, I'm still in the same boat, dude. It's like, God damn it. And
there was so many questions in this as you're going through each scene. It's almost like there's at least one moment in each scene where you're going, how or why? Like, and you shouldn't be having to ask those questions every time. Like just as an example, when Jackie Force pushes May through the hut and then turns around and then slaps the cuffs on it and she's reading her Miranda rights. It's like, why are you in the middle of a lightsaber fight with somebody that has killed? Why are you reading rights? Like, it's not like you're going to go back and when they go to court or whatever, did you read your Miranda rights? It's like, it's just ridiculous.
The big thing for me is that, they finally took the time to give us some action, right? We got to see some stuff. And of course, like most things, if you slow it down and you break it down, you're going to see a bunch of problems with it. I mean, look at what Robot Head did with the fight in The Last Jedi.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to come out. The only problem, you don't see that if you go back and you watch Nick Gillard fights, you don't see that kind of stuff. But at first glance, when you watch it, you're like, damn, finally we got a lightsaber fight. You know what I mean? But the problem was, as you're watching this episode, they keep cutting back to Osha and what's his name?
Sol.
Yord.
Oh, Yord, yeah. When they're running away.
Just stopping in the forest every 5 minutes. And it happens 6 times. She stops and she's like, we have to go back. And he's like, no, I will restrain you. And then it happens again. And she's like, turn off your lightsaber. And she's like, they're attracted to light. And then the next time they stop again. And she's like, what's going on? And then she turns on her flashlight and shines it at the flying fucking things. You're like, dude,
it's like,
what
run.
are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, there are, it is no doubt it is the best episode out of all of them, but it's the best, it's the least worst is how I'm saying it.
Yeah, least worst.
The least worst episode. because it's still very bad. There's still a lot of questions that are being asked by the audience that are actually watching it while they're going through it, and it is quite jarring. It completely removes you from it. There is no escapist entertainment in anything one episode of this has been able to provide that escapist entertainment that it's supposed to actually give.
I will give you one really good thing about this episode. Watching Yord have his neck snapped.
Oh yeah,
has been the most enjoyable part of this entire. I physically was like, in my watch party.
Watch my video. I'm like, yes, the Yord Horde's gonna be crying.
They did it.
Yeah, 100%. But like, okay, just on a surface level of this is something that's been really, really bad with this series. Not even when it comes to lore, canon, and continuity, the main issues that Star Wars fans actually look at it's the writing, the editing, and the composition, I think is the right word, right? And a good example of that is this exact moment that I have on the screen. So let me just set it up here. Osha gets up from being knocked out from a force push across the forest from the previous episode, right? She then trips over and she sees
don't lose this scene, by the way, because I want to add something to what you.
Yep, no worries. She then trips over and sees one dead Jedi on the ground, right? This guy here.
Yeah, whoever that is.
She then gets up. Now, I want to point out that in this scene right now, the lightsaber fight is literally happening about where my mouse is right now. Right? But you don't see or hear it, and she's not reacting to any of it until it cuts to the next scene. So I want to show you how close it actually is here. Get that zoom out, right? It cuts to her close up, and you hear the lightsabers going off. But then, I went too far. I don't want to play too much because I already got...
Oh, they'll get you.
They will get you. Look at where it is. Look how close it is.
It's a good,
so you go back
35 feet away.
You go back to that zoomed out shot, and it should literally be here. She shouldn't be looking around, wondering, and then all of a sudden hearing the lightsabers. But then But go on. What were you going to point out?
From a composition standpoint, because people are saying composition, and a lot of people are saying, I was one of the people early on that said, they're doing a great job with sets. I think they're doing a good job in terms of the cinematography. And then we get to episodes like this planet is such a problem. And it shows so many glaring inconsistencies with the people who are actually creating this project, because you start to see lighting issues left, right, upside down, sideways.
Yeah, shadows and stuff.
So this is nighttime. You can tell it's nighttime. If you look around, it's clearly nighttime. Now let's continue and see where that goes. The episode is called Night.
Yeah. Before we do continue on and see where that goes for a second, I also want to point out that at the end of the last episode, the Sith force pushed all the Jedi in the one direction. And I want to point out that in this opening fight where, Darth Smilo kills all of these Jedi off, all the red shirt Jedi is what I'm calling them.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Sol and where's Jackie?
Well, why is the guy who got force pushed dead right there? If you got force pushed and you died from a force push, why are you right there?
Well, I don't know whether or not he got killed from the force push or whether or not she's just woken up and he's already been stabbed by the lightsaber. See, these are things that we don't know and questions that we are asking. We don't necessarily need to know the answer to that, but it's lazy when it comes to, seeing why is there a Jedi just right there and now they're fighting all the way sort of over here. But again, they're not there in this shot, but then they are there. But again, Sol's not there, right? So he just disappears. What do you do? Run away? And then, when Osha's running away from Darth Smilo, he just appears out of nowhere. And then when May comes out of this hut, it's right here, Jackie comes jumping out of these bushes and kicks her in the head. Like, where is she during this entire fight? This opening fight? These are things that, again, like I was sort of saying, it removes you from your immersion. Because it's like, hang on, where were you? Where were you while the Jedi that Smilo's killing
I know you're thinking too quickly. They don't expect the general audience to be able to be capable of processing thought that quickly.
True.
It's set out with the expectations that you don't think.
Yeah.
Consume.
So did you want me to play from here in regards to the lighting thing that you were talking about?
It gets much worse later. So it almost looks like another director picked up at some point, or they went to a different stage or something.
Yeah, I can't keep playing like that. But again, Smilo's got a cortosis helmet that can shut down lightsabers.
Another problem.
But the thing is it's the way that it's used, right? It really is the way that it's actually used. He's there like holding a lightsaber and then headbutts it's an actual headbutt. Not in this fight. This fight, there is a moment where they gets hit in the head with the lightsaber. But then against Soul, I think it is when he actually does the actual headbutt, like specifically as a defense mechanism sort of thing.
So this, for me, the whole cortosis thing it's so funny. It depends on how you look at it. It's either a nitpick or it's not. So for me, I'm nitpicking this because I'm like, cortosis did exist. It was in the expanded universe. It was used as a weave in armor. So you would weave small portions of cortosis into somebody's armor to make it lightsaber resistant, which is totally fine. And if you look back at expanded universe, cortosis was much more widely available before George's 1 through 6. But having said that, they've made another Beskar. It's the same shit that we saw in Mandalorian where they overused the ability of Beskar like crazy. Now that the cortosis is out of the bag, guess what? Fucking anyone can fight a Jedi. We're going to see a street urchin who gets a suit of cortosis armor be able to take down the fucking Jedi Temple because now we've opened up another writing free use object to just do whatever we want.
Why didn't Grievous have a cortosis droid suit?
And again, this is the problem where you call it a nitpick, is that at that time it wouldn't have been as widely available.
Yeah. But this is the other thing too, in regards to nitpicks, and I've said this, nitpicks can still be legitimate criticisms. It might still be a nitpick, right? But it's a legitimate criticism. It was like that tweet that I put out during the Book of Boba Fett that went viral because they took a shot from Attack of the Clones. You know, the shot of Boba grabbing Jango's helmet and putting his head against it. I put a tweet out there saying, "Where's the reek, the dead reek that's supposed to be behind him?" Right? Yeah. You look at the shot and it's the same angle. The camera's in the same spot, basically. Where is it? You know, if attention to detail is still important. And when it comes to us geeks and nerds, when it comes to that sort of thing, attention to detail is very important. There's actually a bit in this. I'm going to just jump really quickly to near the end here, right? I want to show you something that maybe even you didn't notice, right? Because I don't think many people did.
What, the little Force Heal moment?
No, the Force Heal moment is a big thing because we got explained that the only reason why Kylo and Rey were able to do it is because they're a part of a dyad. That was in your homework stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But May and Osha have swapped clothes here. Why is there a hole in May's clothes where Osha's been injured? Like a nitpick. Absolutely a nitpick. But it's legitimate.
No, that's fair. I don't call that a nitpick. That's fair. That's fair.
Osha's been hurt. She should have a hole in her outfit that now May has on, but May puts her outfit on Osha and there just happens to be a hole in the exact same place. What, did that go through the dyad, did it? Between these two characters? It just happened to go through that Skype call that, like, that's ridiculous.
Is such a good point, bro. There's no arguing that. Storytelling is hard.
Nobody else has noticed that, and it was other than the Force Heal thing that I'm like, that's ridiculous. We're just bringing that in now, but like that is so like it's such an eyesore for me when I go through and I'm watching it. It's like, whoa, hang on a second. May's got a hole in her clothes at the exact same spot that Osha's been injured. All right, that makes sense.
Maybe she had that underneath that potato sack that she was wearing.
Well, that's the only other thing that I can sort of think is that this isn't Osha's outfit and these are her undergarments.
Yeah.
Right? But then in saying that, wouldn't Osha's clothes, wouldn't May's clothes be on the ground somewhere here?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
If that's the case, you know what I'm saying?
No, they threw him off a cliff. Okay, Rhino? They threw him off a cliff.
She had to dispose of them. Somehow. Somehow. Let me just hit this really quickly. 19 Larry X, thank you for the 2,500 claps. You can make her react to the dude falling on her feet and then looking at the distance where the Sith threw them to their boom. What? Sorry,
you can make her react to the dude falling on her feet, to the dude falling on her feet, and then looking at the distance where the Sith threw them to their boom. Problem solved. I think it probably makes sense for something we were watching.
It was
earlier.
To do with the Force push, I think.
But I'm sure it makes sense. 19
Thank
Larry
you.
X.
I'm sorry. I'm a little confused by it, but thank you. I appreciate it all the same. And my reading's not so good. But anyway, I wanted to show there's something else while you're here, actually, X-Wing, that I want to show you. And it's from, hang on, let me just stop sharing my screen really quickly.
And this is good, actually. Keep this scene up for 1 second. Yep. This is dawn now, right? So see the lighting?
Oh, yeah.
Now this is dawn. Okay, so everybody in the chat, Rhino, everyone remember the lighting from night to dawn, okay?
Yep. I want to go back to the previous episode, the flashback episode, right? I know we hate the scene of the orgasming witches, right? But I need to show you some. I need to show you something.
No, don't take me back there,
No,
mate. I don't want to go there.
I'm not going to play a lot of it, if any.
I'm so jealous of Australians because, you know, when you guys complain about something, you can chew on your vowels so hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's stupid. It's stupid. Like, I want to be able to chew on it like that.
Sorry, I'm just getting to the spot.
I've been having way too much fun with the debate tonight, so you're good.
Oh yeah, I've got to go back and I'll rewatch it because I saw clips and it's like, whoa, that's bad. All right, I need to show you something. X-Wing. Who's this?
Kylo Ren. I don't know.
Who is it? Like, if we go forward a little bit, who's this?
Just standing awkwardly. Oh, it's gonna be
Smilo.
Kamiri or whatever his name is.
Smilo. I reckon that there's something connecting this to the fact that they created these two, not necessarily to continue the extinction so that these witches don't go extinct, which is ridiculous in saying that. But
so you just completely shifted the entire way I thought this thing was going to go by pointing that out.
What did you think?
So based on what you just showed me, that person standing there and the conversation they had in that episode, I think that essentially what happens is Smilo kills all the witches, and then Jedi Master Soul is like basically pardons him. He's like,
oh shit, I didn't think about that.
He's like, well, I mean, you killed everyone, like they were a danger anyway. All right, like I'm out. I don't ever want to see you again.
Whoa. Twist on a twist.
Twist on a stick, mate.
But yeah, like I noticed that there's this person standing there that's not a witch, not like showing their face or anything. It's really funny though, because during all of this person disappears in certain shots and reappears in others. So like when it goes to the aerial shot, hold on, I'll see if I can.
Well, why would he ask otherwise? Like, don't you recognize me?
Yeah, like there seems to be some sort of connection between Smilo knowing what happened during these events.
Well, What sucks
there-
too is like if
there
this was
is.
a good show, the conversations and the speculation we could be having right now if the show was good would be so much fun. Like
would.
so to speculate about like who the hell is that guy? Why he
Yeah.
talking like that?
But
What's he
also too, like the thing that a lot of actual Star Wars fans are thinking is like, what's the go with Plagueis and Tenebris?
I
Like,
put a
okay.
theory out there on how they could have done it.
The only thing that I can think is that this is like a person, like a Dark Jedi or even a Sith, but it basically would need to be taken out by Tenebris and Plagueis as a rival.
That's what I said. So I mean,
Yeah.
obviously they don't care about Legends. Actually, they don't even care about canon at this point. But Tenebris would be alive and active at this point. Plagueis would be super young at this point, but maybe in tow with Tenebris. And so I put a tweet out and I was like, the only way this thing works is that Tenebris basically like shows up, finds out that there's a Sith pretender and or his first apprentice, and just kills everyone. Finds out that the twins are, born of the Force, and that's why he starts looking into it. That's why Plagueis has the interest in it. That's kind of the only thing that works.
But the other thing too is it doesn't change the fact of the Sith being extinct for a millennia line, right? Sol, no, it still can't, because Sol is going to go back and report that this guy's reporting himself to be a Sith. He's just taken out a whole heap of Jedi Knights.
He's not off the planet yet, though, right? At the end of this episode,
honestly.
Because remember,
you don't think that there's long range transmission?
Well, not in this universe.
You know what I mean? He's already heading back to the ship with May. He's back on the ship at the end of the episode with May. You telling me the first thing that he's not going to do is report back?
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you why they're not going to do it. Long range communications are down. Yeah. And if you remember from the trailer, when we see Light Whip, heroine of the savior of the fucking series show up,
it's on a forest planet.
It's on that planet.
Yeah.
So guaranteed they get stuck there. Some Sith shows up. I wouldn't be surprised if the lizard lady shows up and she's the one who hides it.
But also too, how long is a millennia? So even if, let's say, this was a fake Dark Jedi or a fake Sith or something like that, what, the dark side hasn't been sensed, or like Sith have been extinct for a millennia, like. And Kiadi Mundi knows about this actual situation based on that episode.
I don't think anybody back home right now doesn't really know what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, which is stupid in itself.
I can't believe I'm advocating but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate, I get it.
Yeah. So what could happen is, Kiadi Mundi doesn't know what the hell's going on right now. He's back on Coruscant, whatever the case is. I think if I had to guess what happens right now is that Sol gets back to the ship, sends out a long range transmission and says, I don't know what we're fighting, because he doesn't want to tell them something because of his history with this dude, right? I need help. And so Chick shows up. Chick takes out the Sith, or whatever. This is how I think Leslie Hedland would write it. Mm-hmm. Chick takes out the Sith. Sol is going to wind up dying. Both the twins are going to wind up dying. A Slytherin lady is going to go back to the Jedi and cover the whole thing up.
Right.
And essentially what she's going to say is that May and OSHA, Occupational Safety Hazard Administration, killed all of the Jedi. It was a total loss, but we're good now. We're totally fine. It's a tragedy. Everything is okay. That's how I think she'll write it.
Okay.
If I was going to write it, Tenebris would come in and fucking murk the lot of them. He would kill the fuck out of them,
and then he'd cover his tracks too. That's
exactly.
The thing.
Yeah, he would murk the fuck out of everyone, cover the tracks, and then be like, "Wait, those two were born of the Force? Shit, we can do that? Okay, let's go."
Yeah. Oh man. I also want to point out that this cortosis stuff, I don't know how much of it's actually covering his body, which it doesn't seem like a lot when you see him without his helmet on, and all he's got is that other like sleeve bit of cortosis that he used.
Wrist and like a
wrist and thing. But how does that stop this from happening?
Force.
Oh, sorry, she's already shot him, I think. Oh,
no,
man.
you were right there
Was
as
I
he's
right
walking.
there?
I think as he's walking up to Yord.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying. She
Yeah, he
blasts him
stopped
with.
and looked at him.
Yeah, she blasts him with the thing, and then it just sort of bounces off him, like does nothing. And the other thing too that's stupid about this is he's already sliced Yord's leg. He's already killed all the other Jedi that are there. You telling me he's not finishing the job before going after Osha?
So there were some power scaling issues in this episode for sure.
Oh, big time.
There were some serious power scaling issues because we saw Jecki, the bar dancer, fight the Padawan and have a real tough time. And she got her leg sliced too, with a knife, which is just so fucking stupid. If you have two Force users fighting, you really think like, she got my quad. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then all of a sudden, because she's fighting the Sith, she's like, Kamehameha, and turns into like fucking, she turns into Anakin for like 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here, dude. It's
the other thing that I want to point out too is the size of the lightsaber hilts. Now, I can excuse the Wookiee's lightsaber hilt because he's got big hands, big claws, right? But they all seem to be holding like big chunky fucking lightsaber hilts.
You know why, right?
Why?
Because those are the hilts that they sell at Disney.
Oh, right. So they're just using toys as actual props in the movie.
Yeah, because a lot of us, dude, when the bulky hilts came out at Disney, when there was still a little bit of hope, and the bulky hilts came out, we're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, there's a company in China that are manufacturing these hilts that look 1,000 times better than the person who owns the IP right now.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on? And then we plug in, the blade to the saber, and we're like, dude, the electronics are worse too. What is happening, dude? And so I think they're slowly like getting more like bulkier and bulkier hilts, and they're like, oh yeah, it's because they're supposed to be that way. Yeah. And then if you bring this up to a Disney apologist and you're like, bro, why is that fucking hilt like, that's like some Harambe size shit. Why is that thing so thick? And they're like, oh, well, it's 100 years before the Phantom Menace, so the technology would have improved by the time of the Phantom Menace.
The headcanon's unbelievable, isn't it? Except when you go back in EU like lore and like go back to the Knights of the Old Republic era, thousands of years in the past, lightsabers have not. Yeah, exactly.
The only thing you could argue would be like a proto saber where you had to wear a backpack and shit. Like, fine, okay.
Yep. Ministry of Wrong Things got a really good point here too for $5. How come none of the Jedi Council members automatically sense Jedi being what's that? Slaughtered.
Automatically sense Jedi being slaughtered through the Force.
Through the Force, yeah. Well, that's another great point. But that brings you to another point in regards to does Sol know that when he's leaving or going back to the ship, it's May? Because he should be able to sense that it's actually May and not Osha, because Osha at least was his Padawan for a while.
You want to hear the Disney apologist argument?
Yeah, go.
Why didn't they know Palpatine was a Sith? They sat in his chamber. Why didn't they know?
Well, you know the answer to that.
But that's
their justification. No, I get that. Yeah. I get that. He was able to still be able to
shield
project himself
completely. Yeah.
Well, no, he was still able to project himself through the Force because they still needed to be able to sense him. But he was able to hide his darkness. He was able to hide that dark side of him from all the Jedi. Perfectly. And that's why even Yoda says the dark side surrounds the Chancellor.
But they couldn't find it. They couldn't.
That's why they thought that it was somebody in his chamber or somebody in his administration, you could say, that was the Dark Lord. They first of all didn't think that it was actually Palpatine. They thought it was somebody close to him that was manipulating him, because they couldn't sense that. And it's well explained. That's the thing, especially through the Plagueis book. It's really
writing is so hard.
It is, isn't it?
I need a refill. I'll be right back.
Go. So again, Sol shows up out of nowhere. Oh, even though Yord has a sliced leg, he's able to run and keep ahead of Osha as well the whole time. Again, these are just attention to detail things. Like, he should really be hobbling through the forest. Osha should probably be in front of him the whole time, but yet he's leading her through the forest to get her out of there. There's another thing that I thought was really stupid. When Sol saves Osha, right, Yord's had his leg sliced, and then all of a sudden Yord just shows up behind Sol and Osha, right? And then Sol turns to Yord and says, "Get the citizen out of here." And Yord force pulls Osha and repeats to her, "Get the citizen out of here," and then runs away. Like, come on, guys. You know who the citizen is. You don't need to say, "Get the citizen out of here." You could say, "Get Osha out of here." Like, it's just the dialogue is so jarring when it comes to things like that, that it's just, again, it just completely removes you from what you're actually watching. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just also too want to quickly say thank you for the super chat, Ministry of Wrong Thing. Really appreciate that. And yes, you've got a great point there. Got a great point there. If Yoda can sense across the galaxy, like the purge happening, he could sense like 5 Jedi Knights, a couple of Padawans being killed. 100% he'd be able to sense that. But again, the people writing Star Wars right now don't actually get it. Now, again, this is what X-Wing was saying before. They keep stopping and having this moment where it's like, we got to go back. We got to go back. We got to go back. It keeps happening over and over and over again. And so Yord says, oh, hang on. I need audio.
You're injured. Fine. Sol gave me an order.
All right, we just pause for a second there.
Osha, I don't want to have to subdue you, but I will.
I don't want to have to subdue you, but I will. Like, the dialogue and everything between these two particular characters through the entire series has been, like, mind-blowingly dumb. Like, even when they first arrive on the planet and Yord's like, oh, I'm going to have to take that blaster off you. It's like, you're about to go into a forest. It's only a stun blaster. And May's going to be there. Like, why do you want to take away? Oh, because it's Jedi property. Why did Jedi own blasters ever? Like, I wouldn't expect Jedi to actually own blasters, to be honest with you. Now, you could make the argument that, yes, for civilians that come and help them, they might have a little arsenal of blasters and things like that. But that was really stupid. But then this line of him saying, I don't want to have to subdue you, but I will. Like, come on, man.
That was gross.
Did you hear what I said about the citizen thing when Sol turns to Yord and says, get the citizen out of here, and he's force pulls Osha and repeats to her, get the citizen out of here.
The exact same line. Dude, during the watch party, I had a physical fucking cringe moment. I'm like, dude, the writing is incredible. This is incredible. It's so good.
It's so bad.
No, it's perfect.
So bad.
It's perfect.
I'm just going to jump forward a little bit here too.
Yeah, the Yord Osha scenes while running away, like
horrible.
Just over and over and over and over again. It was just like it. I think if they had cut all of that out, this could have been an episode where even like people would be like, "Bro, that wasn't that bad."
It would have made it better. No, you're right. It actually would have made it better not having these splits going over to Osha and Yord.
So again, we'll come to lighting in a second here when we get to the main fight. But from a pacing standpoint, so now we're starting to look at this as, like critiques, critical of actual composition of the show itself. You want to talk about killing pace of a show? I mean, it's like doing 130 on the Autobahn, and then somebody just puts a fucking speed bump right in the middle of that bitch. Like, it's like, what are we doing here, dude? And of course, it's got to be a fucking yellow lightsaber and Yord of all things.
I thought this was really stupid too. Like, Jackie gets the blade put to her throat. Anyway, she gets the blade. Her and May are fighting, and the blade's getting really close to her thing, and then she sort of pushes her hand away, but then she leans forward. Like, it's almost like she leans forward into the blade. The blade I reckon it sort of disappears a little bit. to be honest with you. She leans forward to give a headbutt back to, because she's behind her. It's just that some of the choreography in this episode wasn't too bad, especially when you watch it at full pace. I'm sure that they're, Shadowversity and stuff like that, they're probably going to slow this shit down and say, like, that's ridiculous. And there are ridiculousness. And that's not to say that those criticisms aren't valid. But at full pace, it definitely didn't seem all that bad. It certainly didn't stack up to the same ridiculous level as the throne room fight in.
And here's the other thing. Yeah. Okay, if you can watch it at full pace and be content with it, then you did okay. You know what I mean? Leave it up to the people who are going to EFAP it to go through and be like, look, there's problems here, there's problems here. Correct. But if the choreography was good enough to make it through full pace, that's totally fine. Here's my problem. Is that you can very clearly tell that they sped up sections.
Oh, yeah. So
that's a problem for me because as somebody who's a big fan of the prequel trilogy, they had to slow Ewan McGregor down, bro. Yeah. Could you imagine having to slow someone down to keep the suspense? Like, that's the energy I'm looking for in these fights. And you can absolutely tell we got a blockbuster fucking 0.45 forward speed in that moment with Jackie, but we'll get there.
But this is the other thing too, is this was supposed to be the fight. I believe this was supposed to be the fight that rivaled the prequel fight, the Duel of the Fates. At least that's what we're sort of most people are believing. I mean,
Leslie's favorite episode.
I still think that maybe the light whip fight might be the one that they were talking about because it is a woman. But let me just hit this really quickly. E. Clay Thomason, dude, 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. You guys are now able to use your seal clapping emojis and all the other emojis too. So thank you very much, E. Clay Thomason. I really appreciate that. You're a legend. So yeah, I got to say there is a problem. The fact that Jackie was able to hold her own against a Sith that was able to eliminate a lot of Jedi quite quickly. Like when they first started fighting, even in my reaction, my video, I said, oh, this is going to be quick. She's going to be dead real quick. And I did find it also funny too that they had to stab her 3 times just to make sure that you knew that she was dead. Because like if she only got stabbed once,
it's a problem.
You never know. No one's ever really gone. I thought that this fight wasn't too bad in the way that it was looked and choreographed as well.
So I thought, for me, the problem wouldn't have been so much that it was a Padawan holding their own against the Sith for a little bit, right? Because we've seen, I mean, what pisses me off is that when you bring it up and you're like, I don't know if she would have been that good against a Sith. People are like, oh, you forgot about this scene, and it's Anakin fighting Dooku, and I'm like, yo, that's Anakin fucking Skywalker, you idiot.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, right?
That's one of our seals of the week, actually. But yeah. Anyway, go on.
But so I think to a degree it makes sense for a little bit, and I think there are some steps they made and things they did in choreography that would have made sense. But we saw how dude slaughtered those guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why you were talking about the power levels changing. Like his power level drops when he's fighting Jackie. Jackie's power level goes up when she's fighting him, especially against her fight against May.
Yeah.
She gets her leg sliced. And again, she's now fighting this fight against a Sith Lord, right? That we're supposed to believe is a Sith Lord with a cut leg from a knife. Like the power levels are just, they're all over the place. They fluctuate so much.
I get that this has to happen. You know what I mean? Like this has to happen for story. It has to happen for like the episode to move forward. But
how'd you feel about the Sith guy just disappearing at certain points? Like when he slices one of Jackie's lightsabers and then just poof, he's gone.
He Batmaned a little too much in this one. He's like, I'm in the shadow. And just like poof, disappears. I get why you have to do it because you're like, he's after May. That's what he was after. But at the same time, he also states very clearly when he gives his little speech, I have to kill all of you now because you've seen me. So like she's got one saber. You just cut her saber in half. Like just get her, bro. Finish it off.
Yeah.
End it.
The other thing too that
I would have preferred that
out,
to the.
I know we're not up to it yet, but the bit where Sol asks him, like, what do you want? And he goes, I just want to be free to do me, sort of thing. You know, the feeling that I got in regards to that was an allegory towards trans people.
It's the same thing as the witches. Remember?
Yeah, it's true.
They're like, we've not been accepted by the galaxy.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
we have to run away.
But it was just that allegory of like real world politics that we're going through right now that it just gave me that feeling. OG Star Wars for her 35-month member chat. Thank you. Darth Gimp. That's actually a good one. Darth Gimp has a Shoto.
And Shoto saber. So that was
Shoto.
Yeah, so like a Shoto saber is the like 36 inches, like your standard lightsaber, and then Shoto sabers are like,
the shorter
18
one.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So for me, if you want to talk about that scene where he's talking about like, I just want to be free to do my magic however I want, I think they really had a fucking sick opportunity there to finally bring like the Sith Creed physically into canon, right?
Yep.
I think it would have been awesome, dude, if he, if he actually brought the code in and then, through what is it? Let's remember.
Peace is
there is no peace. There is only
peace.
There is no peace. There's only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain
power.
Through strength, I gain power.
No,
through
hang on.
power,
Is it?
I break my chains.
Let me bring it up. Sith code. Why can't I remember it? Why can't we remember it?
Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I break my chains.
No. So peace is a lie. There is only passion.
Yeah.
Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken.
Yeah, there it is. So I think they could have referenced that, and it would have been really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But then again, if they did it, I'd probably be sitting here like, God, that was cheesy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough.
Just to finish this off, it's obvious he will fight the Jedi who has the light whip. Yep. And guys, I do want to point out that they're calling it a lightsaber whip, and it's definitely a lightsaber that turns into a whip. We've seen that. It's just called a light whip. Let's just, because it's not actually, it doesn't.
Which is a Sith weapon.
Yeah, and it's not actually a kyber crystal. It's a different crystal altogether.
What do they call those crystals? It's such a funny name.
OG will know. OG, what's the name of the crystal that they use in a light whip?
Oh, it's such a funny name. I remember. Oh, this is gonna kill me. Anyways,
Bredicus. I think that's how you say that. It's for $2. Best lightsaber fight ever in Disney Star Wars. Yeah, yawn. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, he does his Batman thing. Osha, it's so funny too in this bit where Osha's like, Yord, turn off your lightsaber. And he's like, why? And she looks up and like they're attracted to the light and she turns off her torch. And Yord still stands there for a good minute with his lightsaber on, like looking at the trees and stuff, and then turns it off. It's just, again, turn it off, man, straight away. I don't know why they didn't get attacked by the bugs when they were right there. So let's keep moving. Oh, did you find it really funny when May was running away and it clipped to Darth Smilo's helmet and he's saying stuff into her head or something? Did that?
Yeah. There was totally a like a Fight Club moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, Osha. Or what did he say? He's like, you're a traitor. Or something.
You're a traitor.
Yeah.
It was weird. Is it this bit?
No, it's when she's running.
It is when she's running. But I also found it funny that, all he wants is an acolyte, right? And he says he wants an acolyte, and now he's trying to kill May. Yes, she did go against him. She was a traitor to him. But I don't know. You've been training her for what, 16 years, 10 years at most, at least. And you're just going to throw that away, even though she had it's kind of like, Starkiller, right? When Palpatine finds out about Starkiller, and Palpatine then goes to kill Starkiller to show his loyalty to the Emperor. Like, yeah, Palpatine knows he fucked up, and this is what Sith are supposed to do. They want to overthrow the Master. This is so. Why
That's the whole point of
That's
Sith.
the whole point. Yeah, exactly. So why is he then trying to kill her, even though she made a mistake? And it doesn't seem like, again, that flip-flopping of May's motivations to turn herself into the Jedi, and now she's like, you've been handcuffed. You got handcuffed by Jackie. Like, go with her. You wanted that, didn't you? Like,
so
you could.
Yeah, these are where like a lot of my questions came from. If we're talking about Siths, so like anybody who considers themselves somebody who likes the Sith, loves the Sith, I think your baseline is basically going to be Darth Bane at this point, the Darth Bane trilogy, the rule of two, one to possess the power and one to crave it, right? So it's weird to me that this Sith Lord acts the way they do, where like, I'm going to put my handcuffs over my body and he's going to say, you're always weak. And then she puts her hands up and somehow he strikes the handcuffs to make her free, but also he wanted to kill her at the same time. Like, the character motivations in this shit are fucking non-existent. And if they do exist, they flip-flop like you wouldn't believe. It's like, dude, just throw a fucking coin on the table and we'll see what the characters are going to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who knows? Jackie might be the fucking Sith Lord. If you flip a coin and it lands the wrong way, you never know.
It could happen. Absolutely. I also want to point out that a lot of Soul's reactions. Now, it's not to say that Soul wouldn't be emotional about seeing the death of his Padawan in Jackie. And then he also sees Yord's neck get snapped. But the way he reacts, the screaming, the yelling. Also want to, like, this, I got to go back just a second here. Hold on, I'll just pause for 1 second. La la la, we're making it our own.
La, la, la.
YouTube.
We love Disney. Disney's the best.
Here we go.
There's that speed up, dude.
She is fighting with her emotions. You can see it.
Oh, she's in the dark side right there, bro.
She screams. There's a moment where she's like, ah! Here. You ready? This bit right here. This is not a Jedi. This is not a Padawan. This is not how they fight. They don't use their emotions. Look at this scream. Yeah! Like, that's not a Jedi. And then obviously Soul does the same thing after seeing Osha get killed, right? And Yord get killed, fighting through his emotions. Now, you could say he dabbled in the dark side when he actually overpowered him and got the lightsaber really close, but then Osha stops him from killing Darth Smilo. But like, I've just noticed that in these fights, the Jedi don't fight. Like, and that's not to say, like, you remember when Obi-Wan sees Qui-Gon get stabbed, right? He's like, no! And he screams. But then when he runs out to fight, and his emotions do take control, that's why he loses originally, and he end up holding on to that light thing, right?
Yep. He loses
because
his
he
peace.
went too far into his emotions. But even when he came after that shield generator disappears, he didn't come running out going, Rah! Like, it's just that these people that are making this and directing these characters, directing these actors to play the roles, they don't get Star Wars to the point where they're making them scream like this.
Yeah, they're just a person with a sword.
Yeah.
They're not a Jedi.
I also want to point out, too, that when the other thing, too, that I hated was Soul throwing his lightsaber away, and then we're back to hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on. Just fuse the Force, pick up your lightsaber, and get straight back into it. Like, hand-to-hand combat in Star Wars is supposed to be a lightsaber fight. Lightsaber fighting is hand-to-hand combat in the Star Wars galaxy.
Kung Fu, bro. Like, we don't need that. We don't need it. It's cool for a second. You know what I mean? Like, if if something happens and for some reason your sabers are disengaged, you know, it's cool for 3 or 4 seconds. You're like, bah, 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 bah. Oh, like, oh shit, okay, they know how to fight hand to hand too. But then, like, there is no reason at any point you wouldn't use the Force to grab the deadliest fucking weapon in the galaxy and just.
Well, think about Revenge of the Sith when they're actually on the table. What does Obi-Wan do? Obi-Wan kicks Anakin and he lands on his back. What's the very next thing that he does? Uses the Force to grab his lightsaber to swing down at him. It's like, yeah, he subdued him because he didn't have his lightsaber on him. He got disarmed. Again, I want to point out, look at the chunkiness of that hilt, of Sol's hilt right there. Like, look at the size of that thing. It's like a big black dildo.
Oh, no.
No. This is where we get the line where he says, I'm a Sith.
You know what the best thing I saw on the internet was? And actually, I like this. So people were like, this is dumb. I love this. Like, bro, holding a lightsaber to somebody's head like that. You know who did that? Was Anakin at the Jedi Temple when he first started the assault. Remember the librarian opens the door in the book and he holds it to the side of his head and just goes,
yep. Yeah, no, it is good.
It's just mired in so much bullshit. You know what so here's my problem. This came out long before the show came out. They wanted to make the Sith in the show a psychopath. That was what they wanted to do, right? They wanted to make him seem mentally unstable, which is fine, I guess, to a degree, but you got to realize, like, dude, for you to actually study like the dark arts and be a Sith, you got to be a seriously single track minded fucking stud. Like, this shit is not easy and you have to be focused. And so I don't like so much that they made Manny just into, like, when he comes out and he's like, is that its name?
Oh yeah.
And then he goes, oh, hi. And looks at May.
When May shows up. I know. But like, again, here, like grabbing the wrist, Sol's grabbing his wrist so that he can headbutt. And like this is fighting in Star Wars now. This is where we're at. Like, so dumb. And this is where he's like, what do you want? I think. Oh no. This was another thing that I noticed in my review, in my watch through. When he goes to cut his head off here and Osha stops him, right now you can hear that hum of that lightsaber that's going. When the blade is right next to his throat, it's like there's no lightsaber on. Did you notice this? Yeah, like, watch this.
I'm a sound guy and I didn't even catch that.
All right, you heard the swing of the lightsaber. Now, even though the lightsaber stopped moving, you should still hear a slight of the lightsaber, right? Watch this. You hear it there?
Interesting.
Hang on.
Oh,
where is it?
This is your mess.
Where is it? And it goes for a while until then he moves the lightsaber again. The sound's just not there.
You trust him?
Interesting choice.
This bit here.
Even after everything he did to you.
That's why that felt empty. That's so funny. I didn't realize that. That did feel empty to me. From a soundscape perspective, that did sound empty. And you know what's I never picked up on that. Good catch. Great catch.
Well, see, this is the thing too, is I would never
hold on. We have to go back, Rhino.
Why?
Go back to the Jeki fight.
With the Sith?
Yeah, keep going. Right there. Okay. Can we play like 3 seconds of it, and I'll try just pause it after like a wide shot, an establishing shot.
No, you want more?
Yeah, there's another one that really stuck out to me when you looked at the lighting. It was like, dude, it's fucking daytime.
I can't play too much.
Don't hurt yourself. Usually you can just look around if you're like thumbing around at the bottom there and find
there?
So like
you got to think there is the canopy of the forest. This is the thing, a forest with a canopy over it with trees at the top, at nighttime should be even darker without having the moon or anything. Like, I don't know. See if you can find the
So
shot. that you wanted
I
to.
almost have to say, you know what? Since I'm playing devil's advocate, you know who did it better? Was that
Lord of
was
the
that
Rings?
Jedi? Was that Last Jedi? No, I'm sticking purely in the
Star Wars.
Yeah, don't bring PJ, dude. Don't bring Lord of the that is a far cry from where we're at right now. I'm talking about the scene, I think it was in the Last Jedi. I don't remember if it was Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, when you get the scene of Luke and Leia fighting at night when they're young with the helmets on.
Oh yeah.
The lighting in that was perfect.
Yep.
That was perfect lighting
Because
for
all you
for a
can
night
really
fight.
see is the light from the lightsabers. The
Yeah.
only thing projecting real light is the light from the lightsabers.
We should do a side by side really quick. So Luke, Leia fight. That had to be Last Jedi. Yeah, I got it right here.
Guys, 64 of you still here. Thank you for hanging out. Smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm so happy that X-Wing's here. I'm so happy that we were actually able to get together and have a chat about this because, again, like I said, we've been back and forward in DMs trying to sort something out. It's fucking great.
Okay, go to yeah,
can you just share it?
So well lit. That's the shit that's driving me nuts about it. I don't know. It's for me, it's just one of those things. I'm looking at it and I'm like, that don't look right. So I loathe saying anything good
about
The Last Jedi. But
well, this is Rise of Skywalker, isn't it?
Is this Rise?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, like look at that. It actually looks like it's actually at night. There's wind blowing.
Yeah. I hate to say that it looks so much better.
Yeah, and then you look at this.
But it pains me.
Yeah.
That was the best part of the sequel trilogy for me. Those 8 seconds was the best part of the sequel trilogy for me. All right.
And then the sun actually comes up. May stuns Sol. And then they have a discussion. Like, how do you feel about the chat between May and Osha?
You forgot about the bugs? That's like one of the best inconsistencies of this whole show is the fucking bugs.
Yeah.
So here's the funny part. If we can, now I don't remember in episode 4 when they're walking through the woods to go try to find May and all those people. They have the group together, right? And one of the bugs is alive. And they establish they're attracted to the light, right? They establish that. In that episode, with that same group of people, they establish they're attracted to the light, right? And then everyone lights up their sabers and Sol is like, stand it down. And he pulls out his lightsaber and kills the one bug. And then we never hear about it again. Okay. But that's establishing, right? Okay. We've got dangerous bugs who sleep during the day. They're nocturnal. They come out at night. Now, in the next episode, Osha and Yord are walking and she goes, wait a minute. Turn off your saber.
Yeah.
And he goes, why?
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you think
you asking why?
Piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's so.
And
again,
then,
a lot
so
of
he
the
turns off
dialogue
his
is
saber. He turns off his saber, and then the next, like the third cut again, where we get them walking and doing stupid shit for no reason. Finally, they're standing there, and she goes, "Turn off your saber." 3 fucking episodes later, she turns on her flashlight and starts looking at the bugs.
Yeah. So that she can attract them back to the
she
fight.
just did it to look at it, and then she goes, "Okay, follow me."
Yeah,
if
run.
I know that there are bugs that are going to try to kill me, and some bitch turns a flashlight on, guess what? You're dying. You're not in my group anymore. I'm leaving.
I did find it funny, in the establishing thing in the previous episode when Osha does touch the bug, and then the bug, takes off, and then Sol kills that bug. Just prior to that, Sol says to everyone, "Keep your voices down and keep moving." Right. And then when the bug comes out, he lights up his lightsaber and yells, "It's mine," or whatever he says, like, "Leave it, it's mine," or whatever.
Screams at
I
the
got
top of his
this.
lungs.
Yeah, it's like there's just so many inconsistencies.
This is why we call it, like, so to the people who don't understand, they're probably not watching us right now, but this is why we call it fanfic, is because the writing is so bad. It's legitimately, you have to write this for somebody who doesn't have the ability to critically think, because you know they're going to come back and be like, bro, this is the what?
Yeah. How and why are the two biggest questions that actual people that actually have a brain are thinking right now when they're going through all of these moments.
That's the power of verisimilitude. That's why I love when Robert Bermeyer talks about verisimilitude. It's the quality of being believable. It doesn't mean that you have to argue it to death like Star Trek fans about why there would be fire in a certain, point in space or whatever. Verisimilitude is the vehicle that carries Star Wars, because you don't have to think about it, because it feels believable.
Yep.
But when they do shit that lacks verisimilitude and doesn't feel believable, then we start asking questions. We're like,
yep,
this is shit.
It is lame. It is exact. The funny thing is that this series is exactly this.
Put a ticket in and make a name gay.
It is exactly that. Like 100%. I do want to just say in this conversation, I will say the effects of how they did this in regards to the fact that it is only one actress, I thought was done well. I gotta give them credit for that. They blended.
We've been doing this shit for a long time.
A long time. I know. Think of Multiplicity. What a great movie.
The Tom Hardy movie with the twins.
Yeah. But I got to give them credit for that. They made especially when they're hugging and the camera sort of pans around and it's it's her face and then it's her face. Like I think they did that well enough. But one little scene like that in regards to them making it look okay does not correct all the other bad in this. This conversation was ridiculous because again, May is then flip-flopping back to basically saying, the Jedi killed everyone or whatever. Like it's insane. The
motivations are mind-boggling, dude.
Yeah. And then they have and then they have a hug and then they have a wrestle. And then May Force pushes May. So Force pushes now knock people out. We didn't see her hit anything.
The thread is a weapon, mate.
Yeah. It's oh man. It's not to say that she didn't force push her into these rocks, let's say, and that knocked her out, but we didn't see it. She just doesn't you can force push and she's knocked out. And then obviously we get the change of the clothes.
There must be a difference between the thread and the force, because the last force push killed 6 Jedi right off the bat, bro.
True. I do want to also the music in this. The music, like we always talk about score, and especially when it comes to original Star Wars and good Star Wars, the score makes
so good in so many different spots, and then in other spots they just fuck it up so bad.
Yeah, the score in this when she cuts her hair, and I saw somebody saying, "Oh, samurai cut their hair like this."
Shut up.
Thank you. That's people's justification for this is that samurai cut their hair when they.
No, it was a disgrace to cut your top. Well, whatever. I'm not Japanese. I'm not gonna proclaim I know about that. But
fair enough. I just want to play this bit because the music again is so bad.
Oh God, it is. That moment right there was as cringy as what we've been talking about for the past week. There are more of us.
Yep.
That was the end. That was the perfect. I mean, it's the antithesis of everything that's Star Wars.
Yeah. And when she did it, I honestly, because I said, I'm like, what, are you going to cut your own head off? And then she does the hair, and I'm like, oh, she's making herself look like Osha.
It's
and
just
again, this is something that they could have done so much better in regards to keeping the audience we shouldn't have seen any of this. When May changes clothes and goes and grabs Sol and picks Sol up, we as the audience should still believe that it's Osha. There should be
100%.
there should be
None
a
of this
later
should have been
reveal that
there.
it's May, right?
Yeah.
But we all know, like, there's no. Again, I've talked about how bad their mystery boxes are. This is one of those mystery boxes that they should have actually made, because it's a mystery box that we know or that we don't know is an actual mystery box. If they
That's
had
what
have
I'm
done
saying.
it
It's
well,
not even a mystery box. And so now we're just looking at one of the main characters of the show, Soul, and being like, this guy's a fucking idiot.
yeah.
How are you
And then
believing this?
And then the tracker beaver thing finds. Oh, he does his little floating thing after he kills all the bugs. But then the little tracker beaver thing picks up the droid that she turned
I
into
just
a
keep
lamb.
calling him Joe Biden because he just sniffs like crazy. I just call him Biden.
I like that, actually. I'm going to call him Joe Biden too. I'm taking that. So Joe Biden grabs the thing, sniffs it, and then he follows Sol and May back to the ship. And you would think that he's the only one that realizes that it's actually not Osha, because he can sense the scent is different. But
no, I want an episode of just finding out what that guy was doing the whole fucking time. All of this shit was going on.
Yeah.
Just the whole time he was going on. He's just running around like
You know what he
sniffing for
did?
truffles and shit.
You know what he did? As Jedi are dying, he's going over and just sniffing their hair. Okay, that one's
No, he
done.
flips them over and like sniffs their butthole.
So she walks over to Sol and he's like, "Where is she?" And she's like, "Who?" It's like, "Your sister." And he's like, "She's gone." And then they walk back to the ship.
Turns out Biden was the only one that knew that the Sith were back.
Yep.
I
And
want his action figure now.
Smilo goes and grabs his helmet again, and then goes over to Osha. Force heals Osha again with a hole in the clothing, and that's basically where the episode ends. And the dialogue, even in this bit, like, what does he say here? Let me just go back a little bit.
Oh, he played the Yoda line. I don't know if you caught that. He played the Yoda line. Luminous beings are we. He played the Yoda line.
Says here.
No, listen to what he says. It's not luminous beings are we, but
I got to pause just before he says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my video, I put so much of the episode in my actual review that the video got blocked. Like I had to re-edit it so that it didn't,
happens, bro.
But yeah, I got blocked.
But this is like
the revelation of our triumph.
It was before that, I think.
Yeah, it was before he does the deal.
It was a couple seconds before that.
Yeah, it's when he's standing over her here. Let me put the subtitles on really quickly so that we can actually. Now pause. It's so painful though. Like, are you finding this painful to get through? Painful to watch?
No, this is joyous for me. This is lovely.
Thanks for your honesty.
So I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, my jump off point was I never knew what it was really, I think, until I finally actually like jumped off. I think my jump off was Kenobi. As a prequel, Kenobi was a jump off, and then Mando season 3 was just like, we're really doing this, right?
Yeah. And Book of Boba Fett would have solidified it a bit as well.
You know what I would say about Book of Boba Fett is, like, you know, they completely destroy that character in that show. 100%.
The thing that I actually hate more about the thing that I hate more
fun.
Yeah, the thing that I hate more about Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett, more so than destroying the character really of actual Boba Fett, is destroying Tatooine lore. Like the planet 100%. The planet has lore behind it, especially when it comes to the Tuskens, you know, and things like that, and just what they did with that entire thing.
I'm trying to think about in that time, because now you're making me think about it. Plug Eye would have been around.
Yes, but you got to remember that's not canon anymore, and they decided not to pluck from the EU to do that. This is why I say that Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars, because they
no, it wouldn't. No, they wouldn't have been around. No, I'm not thinking about that right. I have my time frames fucked up.
Well, hang on. Plug Eye was around a year after, like the story that we get in the Obi-Wan Kenobi novel is 1 year after the events of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And they run parallel with the Rise of a Darth Vader book, right? Those two books run parallel in the exact same timeline.
Yeah.
Right. So Plug Eye actually would be around.
Yeah.
During Book
100%.
of Boba Fett.
You're
During
totally right.
During the time. Oh, hang on, maybe not, because that's after Return of the Jedi, isn't it? Not Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, it's not Revenge of the Sith, it's Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, he goes in the pit in Return of the Jedi.
But how long would Plug Eye live for? Like, he might still be around, but he'd be a lot older. She. That's the amazing thing too. Is like it's a fucking she, and they talk about fucking. Oh, anyway, dumb. Let's listen to this line.
What extraordinary beings.
We are. Yeah, what extraordinary beings we are. I didn't even pick up on
It's a total fucking play on Yoda, dude. I mean, that's how I perceived it anyway.
No, you're 100% right. This is the thing. They plagiarize, and then they might just change one line, which they basically did in this. What luminous beings we are is what Yoda says, and he says, what extraordinary beings we are. Like, this is entirely plagiarized and shifted for
it's fucking low rent, dude. It just feels low rent. And you know what's so shitty is, like, if that show was written well, if I was really invested in this, because I really think this could have been a show where they could have nailed it, dude. If there was going to be one where they could have come back and they could have done this well, this was going to be it. And if they nailed it, that would be a scene where I'm like, dude, we've got some really cool dichotomy between the Sith and the Jedi right now. You know,
but why not the Acolyte?
They're both thinking luminous beings are we. They're both thinking the same way. There's so much cool shit they could have done.
Yep. But like, even with Tenebrous, the Acolyte could have been venomous. Right, because Tenebrous went against the rule of two and started training another apprentice in Venomous, Darth Venomous, and then after Tenebrous died, Plagueis became the master. But then Venomous sought out Plagueis, and they had a fight, and Venomous got beaten and said, like, "Oh, I'll be your apprentice." He's like, "No, you won't be. I will experiment on you until you die, and then I'll finally let you die." And it was that moment that then Plagueis reached out with the Force, with the dark side, to try and create life, failed, but the manipulations that he was doing created Anakin. Like, this is where a lot of people still don't understand that as well.
Well, that's not canon.
No, I know.
Well, actually, I don't know. I guess partially.
Well, hang on. No, it's not. I think they've explicitly said that it's not. But I do want to point out that I have a feeling that Disney is not going to make Plagueis Palpatine's master. Because hear me out for a second. Did Palpatine ever explicitly say that he was his master in Revenge of the Sith? Because think about the opera scene.
You sound like a fucking Disney apologist right now.
Yeah, but no. What I'm thinking is maybe what Palpatine was referencing at the opera when he said, it's ironic that he was killed by his apprentice. He doesn't say that he was his apprentice. He's not even at the point of telling Anakin that he is a Dark Lord yet. But he could it could have been 500 years in the past, and he just knows that story and then is telling Anakin that story to manipulate him.
Rhino, stop. Please. I don't want to do this.
Wouldn't put it past him to do that. I don't want to do.
You're right, though. You're right, though. This dude could technically be. Wait, no. He can't. This dude could not be Plagueis because in canon there is a statue of Plagueis in Disney Star Wars, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know.
I think there is a statue.
You telling me that they couldn't possibly make this person, this Darth Smilo, Palpatine's master?
You know what I think is really going to happen, and I've been checking around. I've been watching the channels on Twitter talking about this stuff. If I had to really guess what they're going to do with Disney, is that they're going to bring in Abeloth. So Abeloth was something that I said was going to be a thing. I think
a long time ago.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I made a video about it. I talked about it, and I grabbed Josh from Den of Nerds. I'm like, yo, they're going to bring Abeloth in. He's like, no, stupid. I'm like, dude, they're going to bring Abeloth in. What I think they're going to do is they're going to use Ahsoka to bring Abeloth back in to canon. They're going to make the witches, not the Dathomirian witches, the witches from this show be the original cult of Abeloth. And then this Sith that we're seeing right now is going to be the first of the Knights of Ren. And they are a different sect of Sith.
God.
They're a different sect of Sith, these Knights of Ren, that praise Abeloth, and they're religious fanatics. Compared to a traditional Sith from the line of the Rule of Two and Darth Bane's legacy. And what they'll do is they will build a different new type of Sith around the Knights of Ren.
The crazy thing is that sounds so. No, it makes sense. That's the thing. It's retarded to do what you've just said. But again, I wouldn't put it past them to actually.
I think it makes, dude. It makes total Filoni sense.
I just want to say, I might have mentioned it in the Phantom Menace novel, but the Phantom Menace novel, I don't think any of the novelizations of the actual movies are still canon. Plagueis isn't canon. That crosses over with the Phantom Menace.
The novelizations, so far as I know at this point, none of them are canon.
Canon, yeah. And I would also want to just point out to this that it died a lot, well before 2024.
100%.
Well before 2024.
Wasn't it 2014 or something?
Yeah,
a lot of people say 1999 when the Phantom Menace came out, but I don't believe that shit. I love George Lucas Star Wars, man.
I'm the same. Don't get me wrong. I've pointed them out. There are some issues with the prequels. Some of the dialogue is a bit clunky. There's especially
but it looks like fucking Shakespeare now, doesn't it?
Yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Like
all of a sudden, I hate sand sounds like fucking
poetry. The scene where Anakin says to Padme, "I'm haunted by the kiss I should never have given you." That whole scene. There's been times where I've watched that movie and I've just quickly skipped past that. Like I just can't stand.
Oh my god, I love that shit.
Really? I just like what Padme's wearing. I just like what Padme's wearing.
I love the prequels. I get called out for it all the time. You know, I'm on Echo Base and those guys are OT boys, but man, I will never.
No, don't get me wrong.
Shy away from loving the prequels.
I love the prequels too. The thing is the prequels is Star Wars, and the prequels still tells a good cohesive story. The lore and canon. There are moments like you think about R2-D2 and his rockets and his ability to fly and stuff like that. And where was that in the OT? But like, it's there, and I acknowledge that it's there. And I acknowledge that I'm choosing to ignore the fact that there is maybe a slight issue there, but I love the prequels. I love them, but all of them. I think Attack of the Clones is, it's kind of like with Return of the Jedi, right? The Ewok stuff is a little bit silly.
Love it.
The Ewok stuff is a little bit silly, but
Yub-Nub, I just about lost my mind. I love that stuff.
It's still good. It's still good. All right. Well, that's the breakdown of the episode. X-Wing, thank you for being here to go through that. We're going to start wrapping up.
I had to go through the whole fucking bottle, mate. Just throw me in the back of the ute and take me home to Bendigo. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm fucking tired, mate.
I'm going to hit. Hang on. Let me see what super chat. I think I only missed. We got.
And I apologize, but I can't help myself. If I get around somebody who has an Australian accent.
Oh, you don't need to apologize at all.
I like do it 2 or 3 times at least.
I like hearing your accent.
You have the best, dude, British people screw their slang. The Australians have the best slang in the world. It's ridiculous, dude. Yeah. I'm jealous.
Yeah. We're fucking awesome. All right, let me hit this one. For $2 says, why didn't the bugs show up when 8 sabers came on? Well, that's interesting because again, the bugs.
It was daytime. They were sleeping.
No. He's talking about. I think you're talking about when the first fight happens, when the Sith is fighting all the other Jedi at the beginning scene of this.
Oh yeah, good question.
Like where are the bugs during that? And it's a great point. Even when Sol and Jackie are fighting the Sith.
Yeah,
like
there's like a Dead Mouse
where are the
concert
bugs?
going on, and they're just like,
Yeah. It is pretty silly. Thanks for the super chat. All right, let's finish off with Seal of the Week. I hope you've got your votes in. Let me just bring it up so that you get a little bit of a refresher of the nominees for Seal of the Week.
Oh, you'd be proud of me, Rhino. I've been getting into it on Twitter. I kind of hate myself for it because I don't usually do it, but oh my god, they're rampant right now.
This
is one of the ones.
Yeah, but the one that I hate, the one of the things that they say that I hate the most is when they do try and throw the OT or the prequels under the bus to justify why this is good. And most of it, it's kind of like this. There was this one here, right? He says this was in response to Gary's tweet about him revealing the fact that he's a Sith, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't understand how you can be a pretty high information Star Wars junkie and then turn around and think Ki-Adi-Mundi's line about the Sith being extinct as factual when the audience knows he is wrong as he's saying it. Sidious didn't spring out of a hole in the ground. It's such a stupid thing. Yes, we, the audience, know that the Sith aren't extinct, but the Jedi believe that the Sith are extinct because they were hiding themselves. Like, are you stupid?
Yeah, this is a patent misunderstanding of how fucking Star Wars works.
Yeah,
legitimately. It's like, well, I mean, of course, Ki-Adi-Mundi didn't know. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Ki-Adi-Mundi didn't know. That's why we're saying it. And they're like, yeah, well, of course he didn't know. And we're like, yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're saying.
Do you fucking hate yourself, you fucking tool? You stupid cunt. Fucking listen to yourself.
I reckon you do the best Australian accent, to be honest. Out of all the Americans that I've heard try and do an Australian accent, you do it the best.
I don't get it.
Love
I don't get it.
They
can't hear themselves.
No, and again, like even this person, I'll play it. It's a minute long. This person contradicts everything that they say immediately after they say it. Listen.
Okay, guys. So
you do have audio, right?
Yeah.
The Acolyte episode 5,
pointy chin,
and I thought that it was amazing. In particular, the lightsaber choreography was amazing. That was some of.
Is that a dude or?
I don't know. But again, goes on to say this is some of the best choreography
in all of Star Wars.
All of Star
I think
Wars.
It's up there with the prequels. Obviously, it's not better than the.
It's obviously not better than the prequels.
Smartest thing you
It's
said
some of
all
the
day.
best lightsaber choreography we've ever seen in all of Star Wars. They just quoted saying that, and then they go on to say, "Well, it's not as good as this."
Prequels.
I would agree with it in saying that it's the best we've gotten since Disney.
Disney's
bought
got
Star
it.
Wars.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Great. I was actually like floored by how fast and just precise.
Dude, crop your camera so we don't see your background with your green screen. Like, come on.
Yeah, like there.
Come on.
The lightsaber duels were amazing. I loved this episode. Aside from the only thing I thought was really dumb was Chimere getting carried away by those big beetle bug things. I thought that was really goofy and it looked stupid, especially after
that was my favorite part of the episode. I was like, fucking.
Oh, I didn't even think about the Wizard of Oz.
They got carried away by the fucking monkeys.
Funny. I didn't think about that. That's hilarious.
Wipe 7 Jedi by himself, and then he gets taken away by some bugs. But other than that,
yeah, and then goes on to say just got wiped 7 Jedi by himself, but then gets carried away by some bugs. But other than that,
I thought everything was great. The stuff with Osha and May was a little clunky. I don't think the writing was as good as last episode in terms of dialogue, but everything was great. I'm super excited to see.
How can you say those in the same sentence?
So I had problems with like massive amounts of shit from this episode, but I thought everything was great.
What's going on with Chimere? I don't think he's really a Sith Lord, though. He said he has no name, so I don't think he's a Darth, but I'm probably going to make another video about this on YouTube about my whole theories. But That's everything that I have to say. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode.
Anyway,
let me fart in this mic really quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What? You don't think he's a Sith Lord?
Even though he just referenced himself as a Sith.
I'm a Sith. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't technically say that he was a Sith.
And
He
I will
implied that
say-
other people would call him a Sith.
Yeah,
Dude,
but I also,
off.
will, if it is just a Dark Jedi, there's no way a Dark Jedi would be able to take out all of those Jedi Knights the way that he did. It would have to be a Sith to be able to be that powerful, to be able to take out that many Jedi.
I can't. Oh,
Matt.
God. Okay. You know what?
So
I'm
anyway.
not mad at that one so much.
Yep.
But having said that, I've seen this profile pic and the Retini's holocron all over Twitter.
Yep.
Annoying motherfucker.
Yep. So that's nominee number 1. Nominee number 2 was from Brody One Kenobi.
This guy and I had it out actually at one point.
Yep. Another one. Then we have got Brandon basically saying that why do people have a problem with the Padawan taking on a Sith when look at this? So he was on the verge of becoming a Jedi Knight. He actually was knighted immediately after this. And in the council chambers just before that, Qui-Gon said that he's ready to take the trials. And Obi-Wan Kenobi said, I'm ready. So he is pretty much a knight at this moment in time. And this one, yes, Anakin puts up a little bit of a fight to begin with, but then gets absolutely
and he gets
dominated.
his fucking arm chopped
and he
off.
loses his arm, correct. So that's stupid. And then the last one was, of course, this one that I just read out before. So they're the 4 nominees for Seal of the Week. Get your votes in. I'm going to close it very, very soon. Let me play something to give you a little bit of time to...
Did you see the picture I posted of Brody one?
No.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up his YouTube page just so you can see this one.
All right, while you're bringing that up, go on.
He was making fun of me. He's like, yeah, you just a piece of shit. You're a terrible person. Blah blah blah. So
well, they've got no criticism. They've got no counter against the criticism, so they've got to resort to name calling.
Yeah,
And
no, I'm a horrible human. Yeah.
Horrible.
Did he delete his YouTube channel? Oh no, there he is. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love this one. Where is it? Please tell me he didn't delete it.
Unfortunately, guys, we're not going to be able to watch a Grizzy video either. I do need to go.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. I've got it. So this is the dude that was trying to insult me. You ready?
Yep.
All right, here you go. Just make sure you're ready for it.
Oh my god!
Wait. This is the freeze frame before. It gets way better.
Thank you guys for watching. Here's a little something for you guys.
Is this Brody One Kenobi?
This is Brody One Kenobi.
Oh my god!
He's actually doing. He's doing a trans. He's doing a
Oh my
trans
God.
cosplay. It's so cool.
Oh man, I've never seen this guy's.
Oh
YouTube
yeah,
ever.
buddy.
That is
That's Brody
hilarious.
Wonka. This guy was trying to fuck with me.
That is so funny.
There's your high tea boy of the day right there. So yeah, there you go. That's
Thanks
him,
for
buddy.
sharing. That's so
There you go.
funny. All right, well, you guys had enough time to get your votes in. All right, that's insane. Let's end the poll here. 58 votes. That's good. That's good for a Seal of the Week. I want to see seal emojis in the chat, please, members. All right, so let's go through. Oh, I need to share my screen.
And thanks for having me chat, by the way.
thanks
Thank you
for being
guys.
here.
You've been so kind to me.
Thanks for being here. All right, so in last place with 18% of the vote was Brody One Kenobi. I'm sure if we had have probably seen that video before,
It would have
he
been
might
number
got a
one.
few more votes.
100%.
So yeah, with 18% in last place. In second last place or third place, depending on how you want to look at it, was number 3 with 24% of the vote. In second place with 25% of the vote was number 4. And in first place with 31% of the vote was this stupid idiot. We actually watched it already, so we're not going to watch it again. But thank you guys for voting, and congratulations to Retney's Holocron. You are this week's Seal of the Week.
I'm all the Jedi.
Beautiful. Love
Dude,
seeing all
the
super fun
Goku
emojis.
Obi-Wan Kenobi like PTSD, bro. Oh my god, that clip just brings me back.
I saw you at the back, and you're just like,
Oh my god, that one just sends me, dude.
No, beautiful. Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up there, chat. Thank you to all the members. Thank you for the gift memberships too for today. Thank you to everyone that super chatted. Everybody that's here just in the chat, hanging out, chatting. You guys are awesome. To the lurkers that are just sitting in the background listening, you guys are awesome too. And to all the people that come back and rewatch the stream, I appreciate all of
fucking
you.
like button before you get out of here.
Yeah, fucking smash that like button.
I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna fuck your grandma. All right.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Wait, is there a what's Australian for grandma?
Grandma.
Then you heard it first. The right time. All right.
Well, being Maltese, having a Maltese background, I say nunna. Nunna.
Then you nonna.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you. If you aren't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We've been actually pumping out the videos, and it's been really, really good. Really, really awesome the last couple of weeks. Thank you, X-Wing, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks
I'm so
for
happy
having me,
that we
dude.
got to catch up.
Yeah.
Please let everyone know where they can find you and what you might have coming up soon.
It's written down right there.
Right. No, there.
Look at it. Look at it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Go
no,
to the hangar bay.
I'm honestly, I'm not doing so much with the videos these days. I should with what we have. Dude, Twitter is a gold mine right now. Oh my god, it's content central from all these absolute psychopaths that are trying to justify the issues that are going on, and I just find it funny because why? I'm going to defend my $500 billion company. Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Do you ever see that video of leave Britney alone?
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
Yeah, it actually is like that. That's so funny.
But
everyone, go over and give X-Wing a sub if you're not subscribed. Go and watch his content. He's really good. You passed 30K, didn't you, recently?
35.
35K. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Also,
And again, thank you everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. We'll play you out with a couple of videos here, and we will see you next week for episode 6 of the Acolyte. I'll be dropping videos probably all week, hopefully, and of course we'll have the breakdown next week as well. Take care, everyone. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
You'd better put a chick in it. Fucking gay as fuck.
I am funky.
And I want it lame!
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
What?
That is so lame.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like dusting crops, kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing your deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking very cautious.
You go away.
We bounced too near a supermarket?